Yeah. Revelation. He promised the fire next time. He promised the fire next time. He promised, he promised, he promised, he promised, he promised the fire next time. Next time. And who ain't dead, the bad wounded. Who ain't dead, badly wounded. Who ain't dead, the badly wounded. Who ain't dead, badly wounded. Talk the talk, you mocking pretender. I check your lyrics and I'm come for test you. Far too long, you're fooling the children. Filling the head with brainwash education. Doomsday reach, boy, pan the repeat, cause the children coming.
Good morning to everybody on 104.7. Janice, could you? Good morning to all them following us on social media. This one here more than anything else. I feel with all the directions we've been given, it sounds like Ian Allen's show. Back to me, director.
Do you have a headset?
Yes, we have. I only have one because my bag of headsets was this one. What are we gonna do?
Well, no, let me the headset until we need calls.
Right. I guess we can
Just
do that.
to make sure that you
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's like that. To those of you following us on social media, I see it's blinking in and out. We will try and keep up with it. This morning, Anne Pounwa, member of the PEP, and she's not the first person to send me this information, who is very upset. And people who live in Woodbrook are very upset about tonight that 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. from Rosalino Street to Gala Street will be closed to traffic. Now, I want to say again one more time. It is the purpose of the state to serve all the people, not just their friends, not the people who party in, not the carnival crew. Rosalino Street and Gala Street will be closed to traffic from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. to allow for pre and post setup and breakdown. Access passes for your vehicles will be delivered to your mailbox. We thank you for your cooperation and look forward to seeing you. Now, these people weren't consulted, so you can't cooperate with something that you weren't consulted on. Yeah, Janice, everything under control?
I'm not hearing you at all.
Did you turn on the headphone section of the thing? Not the headphone itself, on the board, where you're plugged in?
Yes, it's on.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Trinidad and Tobago, somebody check me on the app. Somebody just messaged me, they're listening to me on 104.7. So I know they're hearing me. So the issue is what you have running there with the headphones, yeah? Back into the conversation. Trinidad and Tobago, anybody, Jenny, turn on your radio for me on 104.7 and just test that you're getting it for me, please, so that we could know, yeah, that we have it. We're having a little technical difficulty in the studio as we figure the world out. Yeah, John is still not hearing anything. But do me a favor, just walk out into the main studio and see if you're hearing us over the actual speaker system. All right, so that is 9:04. On Wednesday, the 13th of February, the day before Valentine's Day. If you have not yet gotten your roses, Philip Penko says 104 loud and clear. Thank you for that, Philip. If you haven't gotten your roses, Keisha Lewis, the head of the women's arm of the Progressive Empowerment Party, they have roses on sale as part of a fundraiser. Okay, no, I have to keep it on because I'm reading this stuff. Right, so I'm wearing my emergency glasses this morning, my emergency reading glasses, because I forgot my actual reading glass. Hearing in both loud and clear from Jenny. Thanks a lot, Jenny. Right, so while we endeavor to sort out whatever problem we might be having here, and a big shout out to Mikey K and the Ground Report crew. A big shout out to the hard work that section is doing. I mean, Trinidad and Tobago, you had to realize by now that what is happening in this country is not governance. What is happening in Trinidad and Tobago, this is not real governance. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's not real governance. And today, as soon as we sort out this headphone scenario, I want to get into an issue about media. Because media is important to our society. And to Anthony Wilson, who has some function in the Guardian media, or one of those places that pretend to be media houses. Yesterday, the Progressive Empowerment Party, because we promised that we would be bringing legal action against Media Association of Trinidad and Tobago, all the media houses, and the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. Yesterday, we launched a constitution. The Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, we launched a petition for signatures, for support in this. The Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago guarantees the citizens the right to join political parties and express political views, freedom of thought and expression, and freedom of association and assembly, together with a free press. The Progressive Empowerment Party was launched in a publicly advertised. So we are live on 104.7. We are live on social media right now. Good morning to everybody listening to us. We have a whole technical crew inside of here testing to see what's going on with the headphone scenario. Yeah? So I apologize. We'll come right back to that now. Is the headset? I'll wrap it up. We'll borrow my Kike on. Thanks. That headset my Kike have is, he stole it from me, so just steal it back from him. Mikey Leonard till tomorrow. We could leave it here for you? Sure. Absolutely. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot to my Kike. Yeah? We are on 104.7 right now. Thank all of you for tuning in. And we'll be here till noon. Thanks a lot, my Kike and crew. Trinidad and Tobago, the media plays an important role in society insofar as they represent the people of the Republic. The purpose of the media is to protect the public from its government. That's what its job is, to protect the public from those with authority. It is a safeguard against abuse by public office holders. That is what it is. More than anything else, that is what it is. We don't get that in Trinidad and Tobago. Our petition that we put out yesterday, that you can find on social media, asks, the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago guarantees the citizens the right to join political parties and to express political views, freedom of thought and expression, and freedom of association and assembly, together with a free press. The Progressive Empowerment Party was launched in a publicly advertised, well-attended meeting in January 2017 that was deliberately ignored by the media. 4 weeks later, we had our first well-attended public meeting in San Fernando, to which all media were invited. 2 journalists were present, and we still got no coverage. 21 public meetings throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad, and over 100 Saturday meetings over 2 years, no coverage. Our first anniversary rally in Chaguanas that attracted thousands also attracted one media house with barely any coverage. Our second anniversary was a gala event that included the opening of a regional South headquarters. Still, no coverage. After all meetings, our media team, led by the PRO, sends pictures and information to the media houses, which I also forward on because I have a mailing list of politicians and media and stuff. So I know that they get it. Still, no coverage. The PEP led the massively attended anti-cybercrime bill protest outside the parliament. No coverage whatsoever. We marched with the United Nations for the protection of women a well-publicized event to which all media houses were invited, none showed up. Our media releases are ignored. We are not contacted for interviews. Only negatives are portrayed about the party. Only bad news highlighted. Our leadership is not contacted for input on national issues, while much smaller organizations routinely are. We can go on, but the case is made. According to law, it is an affront to the Constitution and an illegal, immoral, and unethical display of bullying by those that own and control media pages and newsrooms that an entire political movement speaking for so many can be blocked from airwaves that they themselves own. The people of Trinidad and Tobago are the owners of the airwaves. We call on the Media Association of Trinidad and Tobago to bring this unfair and unjust media blackout to the PEP against the PEP to an end, and to guarantee us equal time in coverage and broadcasts similar to that enjoyed by all other political organizations. That is how it should be. In response, I got an attack from Anthony Wilson, who is an editor at The Guardian. And he says, your party would receive media coverage when one of its members get elected either at the local or national level. It is strange that a 2-year-old political party should call on the Media Association to guarantee us equal time in coverage and broadcast similar to that enjoyed by all other political organizations, when those other political organizations have local and or national representatives who have been elected in free and fair polls. Good luck with your petition. To Anthony Wilson.
He actually said that?
Yeah, that's what he sent to me. He sent that to me. That's what he sent to me. And what Anthony Wilson does not understand is the role of media. Ironically, he's an editor for The Guardian, which maybe tells you why The Guardian is such a failed organization. What Anthony Wilson doesn't understand, and I direct him this morning to the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, where freedom of political association, free political expression, freedom of speech are guaranteed long before the lanyard. The last thing they talk about is freedom of the press. Without a people to represent, without people's issues to represent, what is the point and purpose of the media? To sell tampons and Coca-Cola? The media's job is not to stoke fire and sell bacchanal in Trinidad and Tobago. The media's job is to continuously hold those in public office up for public scrutiny for things that they work to hide. The freedom of the press that the framers talk about is not freedom from the public. It is freedom from abuse by office holders who would attempt to shield the workings of the media from the public. There is a frou-frou of a lawyer named Emil Krong. Emil Krong is my number one fan in the media now. It used to be this fellow Lasana Liebird. I don't know what happened to him. Now that the PNM had a touch on Lasana and Emil Krong. Now he calls himself Dr. Emil Krong, and I want to ask him, are you a doctor like Dr. Dre is a doctor? Are you a Dr. Emil Krong like Dr. Pepper is a doctor? You get a nice article in the Newsday, posing with your jacket wide and chest puffed up. And this is Emil Krong's article in the Newsday that we have given them 24 hours to apologize for. We are going to take legal action against Emil Krong and the Newsday publicly. Emil Krong was allowed to run an article in the Newsday. I want to remind Trinidad and Tobago that the Newsday is owned by a former PNM chairman of the Dago Martin Regional Corporation, Steve Castani, a former alderman of the Government Regional Corporation appointed by the PNN. A out-and-out PNN. Journalists are under attack in this country. This is what Amy Krong wrote. The government and political hopefuls are like, I want you to watch how these 2x4 lawyers play with terminologies. On the one hand, you are irrelevant, insignificant, political hopeful. On the other hand, you have such political power that you could incite violence in society. Now, I want to ask Amy if he was present if he was absent for the class at his law school course called Definitions. You can't have it both ways, friend. You cannot be insignificant, irrelevant, and have the ability to incite violence. But we will come back to all of those statements. Government and political hopefuls alike are the principal aggressors. Last week at a symposium on fake news, the Minister of National Security, Stuart Young, chided the local press for their apparent role in spreading fake news. Now, Josh Surtees, who was and Janice, if we could find that letter from Josh Surtees that he wrote, it was published all over social media.
Okay.
That he wrote lambasting the Newsday for being a purveyor of propaganda and filth. Now, he is the only columnist in Trinidad and Tobago recognized worldwide, based in the UK. And he used to write a column for the Newsday. But after having enough of their fake news nonsense, he lambasted them internationally and publicly cut ties with the Newsday. And that is just one person. The opposition of Venezuela has put on blast Trinidad media for misrepresenting what was said when they were appreciative of Gary Griffith's rescue of those 19 girls from a sex trafficking ring. And they made it the media, the PNM-centric media that is only still in business because they get massive funds from the government in state advertising that shouldn't be, and that should be investigated for bobble and corruption. That is another story. Stick another pin there. But we got to deal with that. And all of these things have to be addressed. But I tell Trinidad and Tobago this morning. If that fake advertising money is stopped today, Guardian, Express, Newsday closed down tomorrow. Can't pay their bills. Cannot pay their salaries. I have a friend who used to be a distributor for the Express newspaper. And he had the route, distributors drop the pile of papers to all the shop, stores, groceries, whatever, where you buy your papers. And he had the route of everything from licensing office to Shagaramas. And there were many of them. And I went with him a couple times over the years. And there are many of them who would show up and line up in the vans to load up papers and go and distribute all the different routes. You know how many vans they have distributing papers now? One. Their readership is nothing. So newspaper sales can't carry them. Advertising is less than nothing. People are spending their advertising dollars on outdoor screens where they get direct impact, and on social media and radio. Because radio at drive time still has a massive audience. Outdoor advertising has a massive audience. And social media's audience could be quantified. You pay per view. You pay per click. Everybody is aware that unless you have to buy a papers for your job, nobody buying papers. Fishermen use newspapers because it's cheaper than buying a roll of actual greaseproof paper. But that's why they buy papers. So when you check in the sales of papers, so I want you to understand that the media in this country don't have the clout that they think they have, and they're fighting hard for it. Last night I watched a documentary on China and how human rights and civil liberties are eroded in China, and how the people have no say. And why a tiny handful of people in power could subjugate over 1 billion people. Chavez and now Maduro did it in Venezuela. Like, hate, whatever. America this and communists that. Government must never hold power by force. If the people want you there, have an election every year. They have no way millions of people will be marching in the street in Venezuela in fake protests. No way. They have no way Polar Bear and the rest of these businesses that people are saying is the vast right wing that want to control Venezuela. They have no way that after all these years, they could still get suffering Venezuelans to march for other people to get rich. If Maduro was doing a good job, the people of Venezuela wouldn't be marching. But that's another story. All I want to talk to you about today is the importance of media. But social media has filled that gap. Social media has given us real news on time. When they talk about fake news on social media, it is instantly self-corrected. People come into the thread and tell you, this is not true, here is what is true. And public crowd speak dictates the conversation until the person who puts up the post takes it down or edits it to reflect the truth. That doesn't happen when the Guardian or the Express or the Newsday print fake news, because they can't undo that. As was the case when the Guardian published that the Commissioner of Police met with Berkey Burke for peace talks. Gary Griffith asked, what utter bullshit is this? That never happened. That never happened. He never met with Berkey Burke for peace talks. He's uninterested in that. And I could tell you, because I was his communications advisor when he was Minister of National Security. I was there with him. This is what Josh Surtees wrote. On quitting my Newsday column, Janice, I can turn this sideways?
Yeah. But it's not going to...
It wouldn't work? All right.
It wouldn't zoom.
All right.
You could probably put it up on your laptop.
Where did you find this?
That's on Facebook.
Could you send it to me as a link, as a private message so I could read that?
Cool.
Gary Griffith called on the Guardian. He had to put out a public release. Gary Griffith, Commissioner of Police, had to put out a public release. This never occurred. And he took the Guardian to task. And this is where the issue of fake news becomes reality. Because the government of the day can influence what comes out of the media. But worse, under Patrick Manning, members of the media were given fake scholarships. It was a way to pay them off and give them public funds as part of the party. There are many journalists who are PNM journalists more than they are Trinidad and Tobago journalists. And I have no interest in Trinidad and Tobago insofar as it varies or distances itself from PNM rhetoric. And the people of Trinidad and Tobago need to be able to discern the two. And that is why we all say, God bless social media.
Mm-hmm.
Because we could tell nonsense before it bend the corner. And that is why they want a cybercrime bill. They don't want a cybercrime bill because the internet could help with crime. That's foolishness. That is abject foolishness. They want a cybercrime bill to censor society. They want a cybercrime bill to control how you speak. They want a cybercrime bill to criminalize activism. They want a cybercrime bill so that you could dance to the government's tune if you want freedom. That is what takes place in countries like Venezuela and China. In fact, China has even successfully blocked the internet. There is no Google, no Facebook, no Twitter in China. They have their versions, but it's not connected to the rest of the world. And there are things that you could say in China that could get you in trouble. The Me Too movement, the 5 women who led the Me Too movement against sexual abuse against women were jailed in China. for daring to say it. That is where this country is headed. In 2 years, one law firm has attacked me 5 times for political beneficiaries of state funds, using the defamation statute to try and silence me. Because when you are sued for defamation, this is the game they play. When you are sued for defamation, the moment the court case begins, you are supposed to go silent. And the first case, they catch me because I didn't know that by the second case. And they lost that one. And now they're realizing that if you're going to sue Philip Edward Alexander, you better have your facts.
Correct.
Because I'm not going to allow fake political trolls and their legal henchmen to bully me and to use the court as a carrot and a stick. And that's something I want to clear up with you, Tobago. This issue of a carrot and a stick. That is us changing the whole concept of a carrot on a stick. Because long ago, when you had a donkey and its job was to plow the field, you would take a stick and tie it to its head and hang a carrot from it just in front of its nose. So it would smell the carrot and keep walking. Carrot on a stick. We have this idea of carrot and a stick, like you could either get a bite or you could get a lash. But I mean, that's knowing and understanding Trinidad and Tobago. But the point I'm trying to make is this. Court is the last bastion of wannabe dictators. Adolf Hitler legitimized his dictatorship, you know. Pol Pot, Idi Amin, Stalin. When you understand that slavery was legal, there were rules of how to treat slaves, how to buy and sell slaves. Looking to what the law is about and not what is right could confuse you. Apartheid was legal in South Africa. Understand what we're talking about. During the Holocaust in World War II, when the Germans were exterminating people, if you came to the aid or the assistance of a Jew, you could be punished by law. We've allowed, over time, the misuse of law to legitimize wrong, criminal, dictatorial, murderous behavior. And we in Trinidad and Tobago, we have a government in office now. We have an attorney general who is functionally incapable of functioning as an attorney general. His job is to bring to Parliament these laws. Right now, the PNM is staring down the double barrel of 2 elections. So they have to hold their hands. But everything in place for these dictatorial laws, everything is in place, and the water cannons are in Trinidad. But everything is in place for these dictatorial laws to take away the rights that the Constitution guaranteed you. And I'm coming back to finish this article by Dr. Dre Crown. But you in Trinidad and Tobago, be lucidly aware. Vote PNM back into office. And that's it for anybody standing up for you, you know. And to the people in Petrotrin who killing themselves, who sitting down staring at the wall, who drinking and smoking themselves into stupidity every night because they don't know where their life went, you voted it into office. To the people in TSTT who nervous, who know that any minute now it's gone, you voted that into office. To the people who cussing for water, I was sent an article today that says that Trinidad is listed as one of the countries where the people suffer most for water, and I laughed. I laughed reading that because I know within 2 years of a progressive empowerment party government, we would catch and hold all the rainwater that falls from the sky to the tune and the amount that we need to hold, treat, distribute to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And any government could have done that. And every government should have done that. But for corruption and the benefits of what doesn't work. Journalists are under attack. This is what Dr. Dre Krong writes. A similar rebuke was made by the Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi in November for not covering the news the way he wanted, as one journalist put it. You know, this is them playing for the public. Because the media not following up Faris churn on the guns. So miss me with that.
Yep.
Physical attacks have always also taken place. In December, a journalist was inexcusably slashed across the face while covering a football match. Janice, why don't I know about that? Is that true?
Say that again?
In this article, he writes, in December, a journalist was inexcusably slashed across the face while covering a football match. I've never heard about that.
I never heard about that either.
And I am sure, knowing how these lawyers and media operatives work, I am sure this is a flimsy truth. I am sure when you dig up in it, when you find it, this is some kind of boyfriend or boyfriend-girlfriend thing. I am sure this has nothing to do with the practice of journalism and everything to do with two people fallout. Because Anil Roberts' scar on his face is not politicians under attack. That's stupid people under attack. Anil Roberts fallout with Sparrow Child. Sparrow Child gave him a telephone for the rest of his life. And I want to get this story. In December, a journalist was inexcusably slashed across the face while covering a football match. But this frou-frou of a lawyer, because I really am disgusted. I'm disgusted by the lack of ethics in the legal profession and the journalistic profession. How they have turned themselves against the people their oaths swear to protect. When you read and you listen to the oaths of office, you understand that the role is to protect the people, not to use opportunity against them. In the spotlight, however, is Philip Edward Alexander's tirade against Hema Ramkisoon. Now, hear me. Hear me.
Yep.
That happened 2 weeks before. And under the headline, Journalists Under Attack, you have a journalist slashed across the face. You have a government that you say running rampant against the media. But in the spotlight is Philip Alexander's tirade against Hema Ramkisoon. Why would that be in the spotlight? Why? Why would that be in the spotlight? Alexander, the leader of the Progressive Empowerment Party, PEP, took issue with Ramkisoon's treatment of certain PEP members. I want to show you all something here. There are words that you use in the English language that when used, you have to ask why was it used. Certain PEP members on her morning show. No. Against PEP members. It was certain. She abused her bully pulpit against members who went there to be interviewed. On several Facebook posts, Alexander describes Ramkisoon as a pig, characterizing her behavior as gross, unethical, and pig-like. First of all, it's one post. One. And in that post, I chided her for her unethical behavior, her political ambush, asking 10 questions of two members who came there who just spent $18,000 on CNC3 the night before, running a program, highlights of our public meeting in San Fernando. And instead of asking them any questions about that, or the plans and the policies of the party, as they do every other political hopeful.
Correct.
all 10 questions were couched as attacks or to marginalize and minimize the Progressive Empowerment Party. I chided her for that. And I said I expected nothing better. You could put lipstick on a pig. It doesn't change its true character. That's an analogy, Dr. Pepper Crown. That's an analogy. And if you're present in conversation, you would learn. You use that in court to make a point, to demonstrate where the thought was going. Your Honor, the issue of the day is the character of the person and their behavior. And that's what we were dealing with. The character and the behavior of Hema Ramkisoon. Yeah? Janice?
Yes.
Just take over for 1 minute for me, please. Yeah? I'll be back, Trinidad and Tobago, to continue this.
Following on Philip's point with respect to Hema. Now, I have been a guest on Hema's show on more than one occasion. And people need to understand how Hema treats with her guests before the cameras and lights come on. Hema tends to spend a lot of time on her phone. So you walk into the studio and the most you might get is a good morning, and then you're left to your devices. There's no attempt to make you feel comfortable, to make you, to talk a bit about the subject matter. And you kind of wonder, well, okay, I'm here to do an interview, so perhaps this is how it's supposed to be, because you perhaps never been on an interview before. Then lights, camera comes up, conversation will start. Then there's a break. Back to the phone. And you're left there sitting down, still feeling perhaps a little uncomfortable because you're on camera, you've never been on camera before. And then lights and camera back up and conversation again. Now, it is a good thing that I was not there at that particular interview, because knowing the individual and how she treats her guests, and this is something, that I talk about a bit, because it's so important that a TV host makes their guest feel comfortable. I may not necessarily like you, but you will never know that, because my professionalism will kick in and I will treat you as an important individual. So that performance I saw on television, I was totally disappointed. Totally. I expected nothing better, because that's the modus operandi of the TV host, unfortunately.
And Janice, somebody just sent me a message saying the journalist who was attacked at the football match was Lasana Liebert. And that is so strange, because he's part of this crew. So maybe that is why Emil Krong would know and I don't.
Right.
This little click. Anyway, could I jump back into where I was?
Yes, of course. I was just keeping them
absolutely
entertained.
Nobody were giving them some important facts.
Facts. Now, I know I may not be invited back onto the Morning Brew show.
Janice, that was not an invitation to the Progressive Empowerment Party to do anything like an interview. That was a straight up ambush. How could you ask 10 questions and not one be a policy question? Crown goes on to say, this type of behavior must never be condoned, whether at the government level or the pseudo-political level. Listen to his words. Listen to this jackass's words. Because he's trying to paint me as everything that he could possibly paint me as being wrong here. Right? And I want to find out, this is an ongoing investigation into why Lasana Liebert was slashed across his face. I want to find out why. Because he provokes people as media. And he takes strong political position, calling himself media. And this is the thing, And Wayne Sturge had to say it the other day. You can't be media and politician at the same time. I am more media than all of them. And I don't call myself media. I have published over 1 million words. I don't consider myself media. I'm a politician. There are things that I ignore, you take in public life. You accept it as part of the course. You can't fight everybody unless you have 1% money. There was a certain 1% political operative. His lawyer, Michael Kwamina, trolls Facebook. If you only allude to the man, lawsuit, threat of defamation. Now that is a serious cause of concern. The courts are now being used to shield people who are benefiting from large public funds from any kind of inquiry. The media is corrupted. They won't do it. Social media is the last chance. And we need to have that conversation. When the framers framed freedom of the press, they meant me, not media hacks for hire. They meant the work that I do, not those paid by the 1% to protect their interests. The framers wanted brave, selfless activists like myself, standing up for people, poor people, simple people, everybody, and not those who are paid to carry a political line. This type of behavior must never be condoned, Dr. Pepper says, whether at the government level or the pseudo-political level. Attempts to silence the media through overt bullying or implicit slights against journalist characters is dangerous. That is not more dangerous than using the media to frighten public political involvement. Using the media as a big stick to decimate, defame, insinuate, assassinate characters as they do openly. And if you have the funds to sue them and you sue them and you win, 3 years later, 5 years later, buried in the papers, a retraction. And Dr. Dre Crown doesn't realize the hypocrisy in his statement. When he says this type of behavior must never be condoned, whether at the government level or the pseudo-political level, attempts to silence the media through overt bullying or implicit slights against journalist characters is dangerous. More so, use of that same media to attack people who risk victimization in this murderous country, who risk victimization in this corrupt country. Listen now. When this fool, I call him a fool, member of parliament for La Hoqueta Talparo, Maxi Coffee, told me that the government cannot do business with me because I ran for elections against Keith Rowley. And I explained to Maxi, there is a difference between politics and governance. They couldn't do business with me to provide a service that gives real-time information that the People's Partnership benefited from. And that is why the People's Partnership never had the bunch, when Gary was Minister of National Security especially, they never had the kind of panics and crisis that this government has, because the information was real and constant. But this government cut off the people's nose to spite their face so that government could benefit. It leads to self-censorship and denial of truth. That's a fact. When you have the media threatening people in the country, when you have the media being used to assassinate characters and defame people, people tend to say, you know what? I ain't getting in that. Trinidadians will tell you that if you don't have cocoa in the sun, the media will make cocoa for you. In fact, the truth becomes whatever the state or politicians say it is, this jackass is correct, but he's using it in the wrong way. Because it is the truth that we are trying to bring into the public space, that this corrupt, bought and paid for media sitting down there taking political directives. You want to go to court? I want to request her phone records. Ask to see who was texting her the questions to ask. If you watch the interview, there was nothing like a structure. It was just those two PEP women in your studio, stone them to death. Bring a provider with the stones. One need only look at Venezuela for a damning example. Now he wrote damning. D-A-M-M-I-N-G. And the Newsday proofreader, typesetter, and editor led up as functional illiterates in this country with doctorates talking big. Functional illiterates like Emil Crown want to lead the national conversation. One need only look at Venezuela to see the power of the state when used against the people. That's what one sees. You want to use there while she's outside? Yeah, go ahead. We are pausing for a minute to welcome PEP Deputy Political Leader Anthony Defoe, who is here as wingman this morning.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Morning.
Running late. He had to stay home and wash clothes. And we'll come back to him and we'll play a little bit with him, but we're going to get through this. When this doctor, Emil Crown, who is a doctor like Dr. Pepper is a doctor, says one need only look at Venezuela for a damning, he didn't write it correctly, example of this. He is right and wrong at the same time. What Venezuela is a perfect example of how and what a nation becomes when the state has maximum control and dissent is silenced. When state control of media and what is allowed in the public space becomes the norm. That is the example that he should have used. Legally, the starting point is the Constitution. I agree. There is only one line in this entire article, Janice, that I agree with. And that is where he says, legally. Now, he's a lawyer. Mm-hmm. He's a lawyer. I want you to see how he is a lawyer that does not understand how to make a case. Legally, the starting point is the Constitution. Freedom of the press is a constitutionally entrenched right. Many constitutions do not entrench a specific right that protects press freedoms. We do. That right should not be trampled upon by politicians and the politically adjacent. It must be defended with vigor. Mm-hmm. The Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. To what he refers. Because you see, I realize with the PNM, they talk to lazy people. They talk to people where Kid Rowley could say, as of now, fishers will be living on the land and we will give them land to build fish houses. Right. And people say, wow, that is interesting. Nobody will say, but sir, how will fishes breathe? They breathe underwater. They talk to people who do ask questions. But my job is to ask questions. So when Dr. Crown, who is a doctor like Dr. Pepper, what he doesn't say, and when he says legally the starting point is the Constitution, I agree. He says freedom of the press is constitutionally entrenched right, it is. Many constitutions do not entrench a specific right that protects press freedoms that have no purpose here. We do, that have no purpose here. That right should not be trampled upon by politicians and the politically adjacent. If he says that, what then does he say of the media that tramples on the rights of the individual to join political parties and to express political views, which comes 5 rights ahead of freedom of the press? What does he then think of the media functioning as an arm of the government that affects the rights of freedom of thought and expression, freedom of association and assembly? All of this comes in the same Constitution that this clown, Emil Crown, wants to quote. All of those rights come before freedom of the press. Yes. for a reason. That the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago first recognizes the sovereign power of the people of this country. And the media's job is to function as a safeguard against government abuse and not to protect the government from the people. And that is what Emil Krong doesn't get. So what Emil Krong is trying to defend with vigor is what I do every day. I safeguard this democracy. I put my life and my everything at risk. I get victimized, scandalized, character assassinated, open death threats. Emil Krong, on his best day, couldn't walk in my shoes. This is his thing. Quite frankly, until my representation of the Media Association of TAT before Parliament's Joint Select Committee on Cybercrime, I never gave much thought to the importance of journalism. This is this little frou-frou of a man puffing his chest. This has no purpose in this article. And the only reason it is there is, look at me. Mommy and daddy never rubbed my head when I was small. Mommy and daddy never hugged me. I took it for granted that news existed. Did he do any research to find out what the news is? Yeah, I keep tagging him now.
Exactly.
Yesterday, the Express published they copied it for social media. I'm going to read it for Trinidad and Tobago because this clown, Emil Krong, says he took it for granted that news existed. Don't take it for granted. The news is wrong. The news is wrong all the time. Like this, yesterday. An astonishing 23 Venezuelans were found at one bar. 31 illegal Venezuelans held in penal. Police arrest 32. In 3 lines, they gave 3 different numbers. 3 different numbers.
That is journalism.
Express come back and say that it was 32 arrested because one was a Guyanese. No problem. No problem. But it said 31 illegal Venezuelans held in penal. Police arrest 32 illegal immigrants in a bar. But the headline is, an astonishing 23 Venezuelans were found at one bar. So if one is a Guyanese between the 31 and the 32, what's the difference between the 23 and the 31?
Oh my goodness.
So again, like I say, it's all propaganda, it's all BS. It's all BS because these people don't know what journalism really is, how to do it, in the manner in which it's supposed to be done, and the laws that give them the right to find out that said information for the people.
It's a lack of professionalism, it's a lack of ethics, it's a don't care attitude.
Correct.
It's who pay the piper, play the call the tune.
That's right. That's right. And I'm glad you're on this topic today, because at the end of the day, we have to put it out into the public space that the people are being taken advantage of. Because this information that these said media houses is trying to block the PEP for, this is critical.
And we must now challenge the constitutionality of this media block. We must now challenge the Media Association of Trinidad and Tobago and ask the court to wind them up. We must challenge the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago and ask the court to wind it up. If you are a political arm of a political party drawing public funds to use yourself as a politician's tool, that is misbehavior in public office. And John Prince have to account for what he is doing as head of that.
Correct.
And the Media Association of Trinidad and Tobago, if it is legally constituted, wind it up. And Emil Krong, Dr. Dre, needs to come and frou-frou himself in the court and to answer. This is what he says. In a country where legislative change is incremental and the government is more concerned about political blame than governance, an independent judiciary and an independent press are the only avenues left for accountability. But the operative words here is the 2 uses of the word independent. An independent press. That is not what this is.
Exactly.
The Progressive Empowerment Party has had over 100 Saturday meetings to which Janice Lemon Creaky as PRO has invited the entire media. None comes.
Correct.
We have had over 20, we stopped counting, public meetings, the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago, starting from San Fernando in January. We led the anti-crime protests, anti-cybercrime bill outside the parliament. No media coverage. Where is the independent media? For Felicia Holder, chairman, Michelle Davis, head of the South team, who went on Hema Ramkisoon's show and was abused by Hema to score political brownie points with her handlers.
Yeah, but I had like what you had said earlier on when you had mentioned, because I was listening to the show coming down the road in traffic as usual, where you had mentioned the fact of the political parties, we are have not held office, we are not in local or but I want to know is what is that political group? Well, MSG, they held
MSG. No, I see David Abdullah and these people. You see, this guy is trying to make
Jack and all that.
No, but this guy is trying to make a point, right? That if you put a spotlight on the media might be afraid to do its job. That's what he's saying. But what he's not admitting is that political nowhereans like David Abdullah get so much media time. David Abdullah brings nothing to the national conversation.
Is it?
Most people who eat a meal in Trinidad and Tobago eat rice, a vegetable, and a meat. Right? But the rice is not what you really want to eat. We learn to like it. But nobody really like rice. You learn to like it. Nobody really want the vegetables. The meat you want. That's why they say the meat of the matter. Get down to the meat of the matter. That's why that's a saying. The rest of the stuff is filling. To fill up your belly.
Right.
Because the meat's expensive. David Abdullah is political rice. He's political rice. His job is to fill up the conversation with nothing. You can't remember the last thing he said.
That's true.
Philip Alexander said he want to jail the whole contract mafia. He want to open up every transaction that was transacted since the Union Jack come down and the red, white and black went up. We want prime ministers and ministers to answer for their money.
We
want to go after the 1%. Demonstrate.
Trinidad and Tobago afraid that, boy.
But okay.
I'm telling you.
We bring up decriminalized marijuana all of a sudden.
Everybody want to talk about
we
that.
talk about bill multiples and jetties all of a sudden. I mean, Kamala trying to sound like we PNM copying everything we say. They know what we're about.
But let me tell you something at Trinidad and Tobago. The difference is, and you wanted to know, plenty people asking the question, what makes us different from every other political party as before? What makes us different is that you come to us, ask us about the policies, and we are able to break it down, show you step by step within our capacity as a third world nation right now, how it is going to be done. Show me which political party prior to the Progressive Empowerment Party that was able to do that on any one of their manifestos, on any one of their platforms, broker in for office throughout the history of our nation and elections passing through the shores of this twin isle. Tell me, Progressive Empowerment Party is the only and first political party that will walk you through this.
Little boy Nikolai, whose father was in jail and break out of jail and get killed in the hospital. Nikolai. He get an article and he didn't even know about it. A man who talked to another man who say he think Nikolai should open a political party, that get a column.
Imagine.
Yeah, boy.
Imagine that.
Packed that false start and self-destruct and implode get 3 articles.
Yeah.
They get 3.
Imagine that.
They never had a public meeting.
Not one.
They had another party the other day that they published. They didn't know the name of the party. A man had a dream. His dream become an article. A third one, a man form a party. Him alone. The Progressive Empowerment Party has structure offices. We on the ground in 41 constituencies. A man alone, full page ad, full page article. Some Indian fella in Central or South, yeah, full page. And I'm not knocking their articles. I'm saying everybody should have a right.
Exactly. But it is their right
Everybody
to have that space,
coverage.
to have that right, to have that coverage.
Dr. Frou says, without them, I fear that our society is heading the way of both anarchy and dictatorship. Dr. Frou, I want you to know that our country is in total disarray. Anarchy is another name for it. Our country is a dictatorship in every way but name. And that in every single matter that affects how we live, Trinidadians have no right or no recourse.
True.
We're going to address that when we come back. Janice, let's pay some bills.
Okay, time check is now 10 o'clock, and it's courtesy Omega XL.
More FM Limited, its owners and associates, accepts no responsibility for statements made by the talk show hosts or their guests. More FM Limited does not endorse any of the information provided during this commercially booked segment as the truth. That you have to judge for yourself. We, however, reserve the right to question statements made. But in this time of misinformation, government-controlled media, and corruption, it is sometimes hard to get the truth. But we must try. It is not our intention to discriminate or annoy anyone. We believe it is our constitutional right to free speech, to voice our opinion, and our duty to the population and country to expose the truth. More FM Limited takes no responsibility for the opinions of others.
Sangre Grande! Get ready for the most entertaining show in Carnival. Calypso Spectacular through the years. Come and enjoy sweet nights of music from then till now. Sangre Grande. Enjoy legends and current superstars like
Nelson, Boza, Ronnie McIntosh, Nadia, Baron, Explainer, Pink Panther, Farmer Nappy, Grunter, Tony Prescott, Super Blue, Trinidad Rio, Johnny King, and Wappy.
The party start, the party shot, plus much more. Sangre Grande. This one is entertaining from beginning to end. Wednesday 20th, Northeastern College, Sangre Grande.
By public demand, 2 persons on 1 ticket remain $50 off until Saturday 16th.
Or until stocks last. Available at all NLCB Lotto outlets. Plus Cincinnati Club Sangre Grande.
Sponsors include Ministry of Community Development, Culture and the Arts, Swimco, UTT, TV6, Trinidad Express, and more. 104.7 FM, the official radio station of Calypso Spectacular through the years. Sangre Grande.
For more info, call 628-8700.
The kings and queens of soca gather from TNT, the Caribbean, and around the world.
Army Fest, the safest fest in Carnival.
Friday, February 22nd, 2019.
Army coming!
Farmer Nappy. Get ready to represent
Masho Montano and full band.
The old place mash up, mash up. The old place burn. Oh Lord, the old place mash up, mash up. I want this.
Neil, Iowa George,
Shell Marshall,
Blacks, and the All Stars Band.
Irv and Al,
Swappy.
Army party sweet, Army party shot, Army party nice, in Army is rum and ramage.
The legend Super Blue, Voice.
from St. Vincent, Simba,
And from Grenada, Mandela Lakes. The Queens of Soca, Nadia Batson,
Patrice Roberts,
Nyla Blackman,
I bring it, 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 bring me and hold it.
Nessa Bribby,
and for Jamaica, Shensia. Get your tickets on sale now at NLCB Lotto outlets nationwide.
Bobby's Bar Curep,
Cachets nationwide.
In Excess Port of Spain,
Rennie's, High Street, San Fernando. All Army cabs.
and online at ticketfederation.com.
This Valentine's Day, fall in love again with More FM Big Valentine's promotion. Love is in the air.
Love is in the air. Everywhere I look around.
Where you call in and reveal to the world live on air how much you love your significant other. And the most convincing caller will get a chance for their name to be placed in the heart of love here at M1047. And on Valentine's Day, Cupid will pull names from the heart. And if your name is chosen, you win a beautiful prize. Tell me, how much in love are you? M104.7 FM, Love is in the Air. Courtesy of Super Quality.
It's finally here, the first ever PEP market where you can find great savings, bargains, samples and giveaways from all over Trinidad and Tobago in one great place. Doors open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday 23rd February at the Lion Civic Center in Woodbrook, Port of Spain. Come and enjoy our kids zone and bring the entire family for a day of fun and games. Call 347-4737 now if you are interested in selling your products and services. Spaces are going quickly. Don't forget, Saturday, 23rd of February, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Lion Civic Center in Woodbrook. See you there.
This is a paid political program on M104.7 FM.
It's Carnival Fever at M1047 FM. It's Carnival Fever.
We open the story. It's about a Juve morning.
We're turning up the temperature and the heat in your body. M1047.
When we come to party, we mash it up. Just leave we alone and give we space. When we come to party, we mash it up.
There's a fever in the air. There's a fever in the air. Trinidad and Tobago. M104.7 FM Carnival Fever is taking over TNT. Don't you touch your dial, because you're already infected.
Carnival fever, running in the air. So jump, I catch the fever, jump, I catch the fever wave, I catch the fever wave, I catch the fever run, I catch the fever run, I catch the fever wine, I catch the fever wine, I catch the fever festival, they catch it there.
M104.7 FM Carnival Fever is blazing hot.
And we are back inside Pep Talks, the 13th of February. It is 10:06. I am in studio. My name is Philip Edward Alexander. I am here with Pep Deputy Political Leader Tony Defoe.
Good morning.
And PRO Janice Lemon Creaky.
Good morning.
Janice,
for those who are now joining us.
For those now joining us, we're dealing with the issue of press freedom and abuse by media operatives. Janice,
yes,
we took that break at the correct time because I want you and Tony to hear this line in this article. As the Canadian Supreme Court recently put it, I mean, I think this man doesn't understand irony. As the Canadian Supreme Court recently put it, a strong, independent and responsible press ensures that the public's opinions about its democratic choices are based on accurate and reliable information. This is not a democratic luxury. There can be no democracy without it. The man doesn't have an understanding of guile. He has to be, I mean, I don't know if it is if it's a requirement that you have two tongues in your head to talk the way they talk. But I want to say it again, a strong, independent and responsible press ensures that the public's opinion about its democratic choices are based on accurate and reliable information. Yet, the same media that he defends, he says he is a legal representative of the Media Association of Trinidad and Tobago. They have blocked the Progressive Empowerment Party. Which does he really believe?
You know, that's a very good question, Philip. Sometimes you really have to ask the questions of these guys.
Reading what Anthony Wilson responded to me, our editor from The Guardian.
Yeah.
What do these people really and truly believe? If you believe that it is not a democratic luxury, that there can be no democracy without independent and responsible press that ensures the public's opinions about its democratic choices are based on accurate and reliable information, how do you excuse or explain an unethical and unconstitutional block against the Progressive Empowerment Party? How? Emil Crown, I'll call you by your proper name now. How do you justify this behavior? A vigorous, rigorous, and independent press holds people and institutions to account, uncovers the truth, and informs the public. I do that every day. A lot of the things that you see in the media, they get from our posts and our walls. We do that work first. We put it in the public space long before the media could find its way out of bed. It provides the public with the information it needs to engage in informed debate. It took me fighting same CNC tree that allowed Camille Robinson Regis to lie, Stuart Young to lie, Fitzgerald Hines to lie, on the true condition of Maxi Coffey, the Member of Parliament for La Hoqueta Talparo, that still to this day cannot do the job. It is because of work that I did that Maxi Coffey was eventually exposed and fired. As a minister, he drew a salary for 6 months while he was unconscious.
Yep.
He was drawing a ministerial salary. Where does Emil Krong see that?
Well, outside of that, he also received $3 million of we taxpayers' dollars, not so?
He says, in other words, it is the public's right to know that explains and animates the distinct constitutional protection for freedom of the press. With every word that that man just said, I am more press than Hema Ramkisoon and CNC3. With every single definition he just gave. And this clown wants to quote per Abella J in RV Rice Media Canada Inc. 2018 SCC 53 at paragraphs 110 and 125. I challenge him to the proper meaning of words. I challenge him to understand the definitions and context of sentences. I challenge him to intersperse and change out names and put ours where he thinks he sees definitions of protection of the press. We see abuse of the system.
Right.
We see a political party that is fighting to bring real alternatives to a public beaten by a racist system. So racist, the Hema Ramkisoon that he defends said to the PEP members, UNC is for Indian, PNM is for African. Where are you getting all your votes from? It is that he quotes when he says who we represent. These people play smart with foolishness, but I tell them a long time ago, I am the wrong man for this. I will hear what you say and I will hear what you fail to say. More particularly, aside from the familiar action in defamation, journalists and others should note the possible protection afforded them under the Equal Opportunities Act. Section 7 of the Act prohibits sexist, racist, and other vile attacks. The section aptly named offensive behavior provides that a person shall not otherwise than in private do any act which is reasonably likely in all circumstances to offend, insult, humiliate, or intimidate another person or a group of persons. But what he doesn't understand is when we all step into public life, there are certain things that we have to accept comes with that territory. And the world over, they say that you cannot litigate and legislate every single act because the very media that you're trying to protect will find itself in hot water. Ironically, Clause 18 of the proposed cybercrime bill, the bill would criminalize Alexander's apparent cyberbullying. You see how he went from the most loose of association to call my calling Hema Ramkisoon for her journalistic bullying. He called mine cyberbullying. So what this jackass is trying to do is to squash my freedom of speech, my right to an opinion, my right to defend myself, my political party, my rights to political association, our people who were ambushed and brutalized on that television station. Not one Trinidadian of any persuasion who watched that interview thought Hema was correct. Not one. They are
Except the lawyers.
Not even them, Janice, because nowhere in this article does he say she was right. They can't. They cannot. Her behavior was atrocious, reprehensible, unethical. It brought the entire Sabga group into disrepute. The fact that I raised this in the public space and so many people went and saw that interview, some people said it disgusted me to see this woman's face, the contortions of her face, the obvious hatred. Where's the free and fair media there? What this man, Emil Krong, wants to do is force law to silence me.
But that is what they've been trying
that
to
is
do.
what he wants to do. He wants to use law to silence me. And I want Trinidad and Tobago to understand, love me or hate me, this morning I am you. Because very few people have the strength and the knowledge that I have to fight these people. And if they silence me,
that is the day.
They silence all of them.
That is the day. We done.
Yeah, if we done.
We done. I me asking, I telling you, we done. We are done. Finito, finish.
Trinidad and Tobago needs to understand this. That their rights to speak out. There is a saying, I may not like what you say, but I will fight to the death to defend your right to say it.
Yes.
That is the pinnacle of freedom of speech. And it is freedom of speech and freedom of association, freedom of expression that underpin democracy. We cannot call ourselves a democracy and legislate it into dictatorship. And that is what Emil Crown is trying to do.
Yes, of course. Of course.
That bill, however, contains absolutely no protection for media personnel who operate in the public interest. You see how smart he is? He wants freedom of the media to attack people. But if what I say comes across as attack, he wants it to be a criminal act.
Yeah.
So the media could do what they want. A hop, skip, and a jump from the government, because we have a situation where a journalist was named as the love interest of a sitting communications minister. And figuratively and literally, media have no business being in bed with government, especially those who speak for government.
Yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
That you should not have.
It's a conflict of interest.
It's an you should not have such a close relationship between those who speak for government and those who are supposed to challenge government on what they say.
Exactly. Listening to Trinidad and Tobago.
I couldn't see a situation where that communication minister could be saying something in a press conference and she raised her hand and say, but babe, honey bunny, darling, last night when you were massaging my toes, we had this conversation.
Go ahead. Don't let this that is reality, you know. That is the reality of it, right?
In the end, we must protect the media. I left out a part. On several occasions, including the most recent attack against Ramkisoon, Alexander has alluded to several female journalists obtaining housing or employment after lying on their back or in return for favors. Now, he put this in the article.
Right.
I want him to know, let us go to court and we will bring all of the people involved on the stand. You want to know if you are a journalist and you got a HDC house because you was dating a man?
Yeah.
Let's talk that.
That's what we're talking about
No
right
problem
now.
at all.
Because I want to see where did you lie?
Did Mr. Crown think that he was going to threaten me with this news article?
Boy.
But I want him to understand this. The one that he and Lasana Liebert both defend, she pretty too bad, but she dangerous. And the one that he and Lasana Liebert both fight to defend, that statement is a lie. And I want him to hear me say this on the national radio. That the information in the public space about that journalist was put into the public space by her ex-man, one of the fathers of one of her children. He put that in the public space. He sent into the public pictures of her when she was dating him, sending nude shots to the other father of another one of her children. And that is what scandalized her. She wanted to make it about everybody else. Hey, social media was aghast. This is supposed to be a journalist, somebody that we hold in high esteem. How is she sending naked selfies? And watch me, public office holders were the recipients
of those.
This man stole her phone. She had to make a police report. All of this information I have.
Right.
If Emil Crown thinks that he alone have a voice or a right to speak, wrong man. He chose the wrong man. And if he want to make these threats to go into a court of law, brother, let's go. At some point, all of this going to be in the public's domain for the people to understand that what is going on in Trinidad and Tobago as media, even though it is dying, the last generation, I mean, Digicel has this thing called Loop. And I wonder, without Digicel ads, how would Loop survive?
Right.
Because what Loop does is Loop trolls your wall, my wall, Janice's wall, everybody wall on Facebook, and copy and paste information that we put in the public space to share it back on social media. So Loop is late always. Loop has no information fresh. So Loop is just Digicel trying to get a foothold in cyber media. But cyber media is never, even in China, and I started the conversation earlier. In China, when they jailed those women for using Me Too, China,
Right.
China, the censors in China took down hashtag, took down me, took down too. So you couldn't write those words and it appear on social media. The people in China responded. The word for me in China is rice. And the word for two in China means pig. So they created the rice pig movement. No joke, you know. I'm telling you, to get around it. So people see rice pig. There was this blind activist that they silenced and they jailed and they took down all his words. Social media in China responded by every activist putting on dark glasses because it became against the law to speak his words. So they all became him. And this is the most repressive country in the world, China. And people there fighting to hold on to whatever little free speech they have against a broken system, corrupt and oppressive and a dictatorial system that doesn't allow them free speech, that uses media against the people. That is what is happening in Trinidad and Tobago. That is what happened in Venezuela. That before you enslave somebody, first you must silence them.
But that's what they're doing. Like I said, the cybercrime bill is not what they are seeing in the public space they're planning to use it for. It's truly to silence you, you know, man. It's to
Somebody said that. That whole cybercrime bill is to silence Philip Edward Alexander. They write a whole law so that anybody like me who dares to speak against government abuse, because every time that we raise an issue, still to this day, we do not know what is going on. But call the heart. He had a matter yesterday and he didn't show up.
Look at that. Well, he cock up in Florida, sipping champagne.
But he know how to come.
Correct.
When Manning called him, when Sasha Mohammed put out heart of the matter and destroy what they were trying to pretend was a right and decent situation. When they exposed Shireen Hart and her connection to China Railway and all this bacchanal and the Malaysian company, and Manning called him, getting hot, get out. Within 24 hours, call the heart was gone. We don't know. We don't have information about Johnny O'Halloran. It becomes legend. We have a rogues gallery. Ish and Steve spent $100 million trying to prosecute these two men. We write laws, Section 34, that free them. We write laws. We had, scandalous, treasonous attempts at email gate. The country, all of these things I just raised in one handful. The media doesn't ask questions about
that.
No, they don't.
Keith Rowley. Keith Rowley, Mr. Commissioner of Police, email gate. Keith Rowley, Mr. Commissioner of Police, email gate. Because Gary Griffith, as Commissioner of Police, was defamed, scandalized in that same email gate. The Keith Rowley that appointed Gary Griffith as Commissioner called Gary a potential conspirator to commit murder.
Imagine that.
And that is email gate, and we've never had. And Keith Rowley said in his response in the irresponsible media that broadcast this, that Gary was most forthcoming with his devices, so he was okay with him. So were you telling me, partner, you could assassinate my character, defame me, accuse me of the most reprehensible accusations, and because I play nice with you, you okay with me? And that is the point here. That the government, through the media and every arm of state, wants to insist that we all be David Abdullah, that we all play nice and sing for our supper, that we all stand in line and toe the line. But that will never,
state.
That will never be me. And for all through history, there have been people who stood up against this type of abuse. There was a 21-year-old girl who was executed in Germany for having the courage to stand against Hitler. And her last words continue to echo throughout history. What does this say about all of us? What does it say about all of us? Because Rowley and Kamala and all of these people can have their delusions of grandeur. The people of Trinidad and Tobago, if we had half the belly of the people of Iceland or France, or even the people who stood up in the Arab Spring to stand up and protest in countries like Turkey, even Haiti, they're protesting now, to stand up and protest in Saudi Arabia, these people will kill you dead. Saudi Arabia just wrote America to pull down comedy shows that portray Saudi Arabia in too true a light for their repressive and reprehensible human rights violations. The people of the world outnumber the governments of the world.
Very true.
The people of the world, the people of each and every country. And social media is the great emancipator. Social media is the great liberator. It is to our own disservice that we ignore the opportunity history has given us right now to get a better Trinidad and Tobago. It will pass. If we are not very aware, if we are not paying attention, they will write laws that will take away your human rights, your civil liberties. It will reduce you to a drone. Go and work in Subway, go and eat in KFC, hush your mouth and do what the government say. And we must never let that be a case for this country.
That's right.
The government is servants of the people. Hush your mouth and do what the people tell you.
Because we put them there, you see.
Is it there?
We put
That's
them
what people
there.
need to understand. That's what they have to understand.
If China is allowed to pass its latest version of its own cybercrime bill, the president of China, what's his name? Jiangxi, whatever, could say that there will be no more elections and there will be no platform for dissent to question that. There will be nowhere for you to say, but hey, if Keith Rowley is the prime minister of a country that does not allow you to question the government, if it becomes an illegal act to question office holders, if it becomes an illegal act, criminalized, punishable by jail, this is what they want.
But the question I have is, why are we doing business with China? Why?
That is a whole other conversation, Janice, and I knew we were going to get to that conversation, and I think that we need to have that because the way the people behaving now that the information in Venezuela is coming to light and everybody trying to say we're neutral, we hands off, we're not dealing with anybody who is repressing civil rights. Why are we doing business with China? Trinidad and Tobago is a democracy. I don't care what kind of money China have. China has a reprehensible human rights record. And because of that, Trinidad and Tobago is supposed to use its pulpit in the United Nations to stand up and say, we will do no business with you, sir, until your people are free.
But you think Kamala or Rowley or
neither of them? They are puppets. They are puppets of people who want Chinese money.
They would never stand like that for the people. They would never do such initiatives. They won't. Look at Rowley and Maduro. Yeah? The Venezuelan people want to know if we are mad people to be supporting a dictator like Maduro.
Correct.
Yeah? I mean, no, man. No, pick some nonsense now, man. And at the end of the day, the only reason why Rowley go turn around to want to rub shoulders with them is because, again, is underhanded thing taking place. That is the whole agenda of the day with these people. And then because there's no other logical reason why you can see a people oppressed, being hurt, being taken advantage of, and still running to conduct business and even willing to say in the public space that you give a sovereign nation the respect and you would still recognize Maduro because he's the president. Really? But you ain't look at the elections to have any questions to ask to say whether that presidential candidacy was legit or not. You just I mean, really and truly.
Jump out
To bring
yourself.
this article to a
Really and
close,
truly.
there's an asterisk in an earlier diatribe. This is how they refer to it. Another post, another comment in an earlier diatribe. I mean, the Newsday is so disgusting. This guy Krong is so disgusting. They want to be able to attack me, marginalize me, scandalize me, defame me. And if I answer, ooh!
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah, the ball along the place. The ball along the place.
Send for protection!
Yeah.
But
Yes.
here, listen, in an earlier diatribe, when people read that, if they don't know me, and they read in an earlier diatribe, they will think that I am somebody that you could refer to like that.
Yeah.
I'm the political leader of the Progressive Empowerment Party that they desperately need to marginalize. Alexander referred to a journalist as and they use the words here, that matters currently before the Equal Opportunities Commission, and the journalist in question is represented by the author. The reason I read that to you is that these people are so disgusting that they would put that and they forgot to write, no attempt was made to contact Mr. Alexander for a comment on any of the above.
Nope. And I find that so amazing because everybody else gets contacted
No,
and
that-
comments are being
You
given.
cannot write
That's
an
your
article. They're supposed to even say attempts to reach Mr. Alexander were unsuccessful.
Exactly.
But no attempt was made.
None.
That's fair media.
How is this free and fair media
free and fair
that you
media.
could allow this little frou-frou of a man to write these scathing attacks, unsubstantiated attacks?
No.
So now we are going to sue the Newsday,
Right.
and we are going to sue Emil Krong.
Yeah.
You cannot do that.
Correct.
And I am going to prove to Trinidad and Tobago that what the framers intended was a democratic country where the people have rights,
That's right.
not the government,
That's right.
not the media,
That's right.
not the law association
That's
alone.
right.
And we must prove that to the point where it sets a precedent. We must sue Newsday over this article, and we must bring a constitutional investigation into the Media Association of Trinidad and Tobago, into every media house, into the publishers, Trinidad and Tobago Publishers and Broadcasters Association, into the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. All of this must be broken wide open. For more than 15 years, I have been calling for an inquiry into the operations of media in Trinidad and Tobago, and they have given us that opportunity to take this before court.
Yes.
Because I want to say this further. Even if we are corrupted here locally, even if we don't get justice in our courts for any reason, thank God we still have a Privy Council.
Yeah.
Thank God. And if I was ever Prime Minister of this Republic, and I swear to Trinidad and Tobago, we must never disconnect from the Privy Council, because I have watched machinations in this country that would have put Machiavelli himself to shame. So Machiavellian. I mean, the what these people do, and the real operatives are the ones drawing the hundreds of millions of dollars in contracts that use these little lawyers and these media operatives and these political parties as fronts and tools to protect their plundering of the nation
Protect and
state
control.
of Trinidad and Tobago. They've pillaged a country that had enough money that they say passed through this country like a dose of salt. We had enough money in this country, Tony, to protect the people for hundreds of years.
Yes, yeah, boy.
We are in debt.
Yeah. Imagine that. Eh?
We're in debt.
Imagine
People need to
that.
understand the quantum of money. I think
Trinidad
it's
is
still
debt.
it's still they cannot seem to grasp
The only industrial
trillions, the word
giant.
trillions of dollars. They cannot grasp it. Because if they truly did, they would not be putting up with a lot of the crap that's going on right now.
Trinidad was the only industrial giant in the Caribbean for almost over 100 years.
Last night I went. This gets tiring, this gets draining. All these fights, all these battles, all this work. We do it every day. And last night I decided to just unplug, and I went movie town. Dress humbly, little hoodie. Me and myself going to watch a movie. And I just have my hot dog and my soda and my ticket. And I walk in and I hand my ticket to the guy. And the guy on the other side walks around and he shakes my hand. And the reason I'm telling him again, thank you very much for that. And he said, Mr. Alexander, you have my support and you have my vote. Now, this is a guy, young guy, tearing tickets in Movie Town. You would watch him and say PNM or don't care. And I want the PNM to be very afraid of the Progressive Empowerment Party, because that young man, he is why we do this. To Ann Poonwa and the elderly people of Woodbrook who are calling, crying, complaining, they have nobody to represent them. They're closing Woodbrook and they didn't ask or consult with them. They are the reason we do this. It is the people of this country who have needed a champion. The Progressive Empowerment Party stood up. That you can't come into this party for shits and giggles. This is not a plaything. We here to expose and break apart the hold that the contract mafia has had on this country. We are here to expose former prime ministers, give us parliamentary privilege, give us the power of the state, and we will get your money back. Those hundreds of billions of dollars, those trillions of dollars we're talking about, we will find them. I have already put on notice Justin Trudeau that if I am elected to public office, I am coming Canada. We want our buildings back. Those buildings built in Toronto, Janice, with public money, Trinidad and Tobago money. Mr. Trudeau, all of it belongs to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Give it, send it back. To those who took public funds to buy fancy diamond earrings for your wife and your daughters, we will take them off their ears and we will auction them to the public. We will go into your garage for your 50 and 60 fancy sports and luxury cars that just take video to show off to your friend, explain where that money come from. We will expose all of you who have used access to political office to plunder and rape and pillage this country. And we will take the people's money back. And the political operatives that facilitated all the permanent secretaries, government ministers, and public office holders who misbehaved in public office will feel the full brunt of the law. Make no mistake. Trinidad and Tobago is finally seeing what an effective commissioner of police is capable of. Now give us an effective prime minister. Give us an effective cabinet. Give us a government that understands that the well-being of each and every citizen is the function and purpose of government. Give us that and allow us to fix it. Allow us with our legislative agenda to write laws that protect you, that gives you recall to fire non-performing governments should they ever come to office, and attempt to tinker with that. We have been electing dictators for too long, where we have no recourse to remove them.
Correct.
I read people write stupidness on social media. They're not educated properly, and the education system have no civics. It has no understanding of how Trinidad and Tobago operates. People walk out of school
not knowing.
but Nip and Fluff and Dora. Do you know that in China they banned Peppa Pig? Peppa Pig.
Wow.
Peppa Pig is seen as a disruptive influence in China. Peppa Pig and her muddy puddles. That is what happens when you allow little men. Boy, let me tell you, I keep reminding myself on radio.
You're on radio, easy.
Radio.
Easy, boy.
When you allow little men up to abuse power. Peppa Pig and her muddy puddles. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, if you've never seen an episode of Peppa Pig, go on YouTube. Peppa Pig and George, and Grandpa Pig and Grandma Pig. How could that be? How could that be a disruptive influence? Freedom of speech must be guarded, must be defended. We must fight to defend that.
At all costs.
We must never let them take it away. Freedom of speech must be enshrined and safeguarded.
That's right.
In the United States of America, they take their freedom of speech seriously. The amendment that protects their media says Congress shall make no law amending or abridging the rights of freedom of the press. And that means that the Congress of the United States of America cannot even have a conversation about abridging freedom of the press. In Trinidad and Tobago, we need a proper and free press that protects the people from governmental abuse. But that will never be so as long as the newsroom is intimately connected to the boardroom. And that is the problem
That is the
we
problem.
have.
Yeah, that is the problem, righty. Righty. That is the problem, righty. You understand? So,
Well, in the movie The Post, it was very clear. You know, the press
The
is
choices she had to make. She had to make those choices.
And the judgment was basically that the people is who you're supposed to be protecting, not the governors.
that's the whole point. That's the whole reason.
You know, and people
Tom
don't
Hanks'
understand that.
character asked the question. Because they had to face the fact that all of these people that they were going against were long-time friends.
That's right.
And they had to ask themselves the question, what's the point of us if we're not protecting the people's right to know?
Correct.
That's right.
I remember there's a statement in World War II when England was running out of money, and they said in the parliament, take away the funding from the arts. And Winston Churchill said, well then what would be the point of the war? What are we fighting for? If we're not fighting to uphold the highest of ourselves, what's the point?
Yeah.
Trinidadians need to understand this. Government job is not a handout, sweetie. Yesterday I called Clarence Rambara to order. Clarence Rambara talking about the cocoa board and their right to move from 17,000 a month to 72,000 a month. And then distract the public, that's their rent. And distract the public with, and we will have a winner of the best cocoa, and he will travel at government expense. I say, whoa, sir. You mean he will travel at taxpayers' expense? Government owns nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Unless you, Clarence, and Rowley, and Imber chipping up from all your pocket, government owns nothing.
That's right.
Anytime public funds are spent for anything, it is taxpayers' money.
But you see, that is the misconception these fellas have in that parliament. Because again, if he could come out and say that, understand? It is in his mental capacity. This is where they feel they stand, that they own. Once they get into office, they own the country, they own the money, they own everything. And is why Rowley could come close down Petrotrin, Carney could get closed down, and again, nobody the people could go to and say, hey, y'all, you hold on, hold your hand, what you're really doing, because look, Philip keeps saying it, you know, all of this is ours, Trinidad and Tobago. Why is Petrotrin closed? Why is Carney closed? Why are all the major industries of this nation, of this twin isle, closed? That was no benefit towards the people. The people ain't benefit no part of that. It have Carney people right now who still ain't get land, who still ain't get severance, who still ain't get nothing, still sucking salt. I know people right now, and they know a handful of people. There's watch me. Hey,
a lot
Trinidad
of people.
and Tobago. Hear me now, man. Hear we loud and clear. We begging all you, boy. We begging all you. Because here what going on. All of this talk and all of this that we are doing, all these sleepless nights, all the attacks personally and otherwise, everything that we as a political entity is trying to is dealing with. It's not we just wake up a morning and say, hey boy, I feel like I can take licks on my back this morning, you know. It's because we as citizens, we got fed up. We are fortunate where Mr. Alexander and his small team at the time, the other three founding members of the Progressive Empowerment Party, wake up at day and just decided to, instead of just talk the talk, they decided to walk the walk. They have people supporting the cause. We need you to support the cause. It is about a betterment, and you hold us accountable. You hold us. You didn't want to hold any other administration before accountable. Here what's going on. The Progressive Empowerment Party is opening its doors for you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, to hold this administration, this political vehicle accountable every step of the way. And we ensure to put mechanisms where you are able to do that, and it's your right to be able to do that. Watch me. And you see this whole my pressure, boy, my pressure. Because the country, the country is going mad.
No, but you're right. And we're going to be taking your calls on 628-9595, 628-3131.
After the break.
After the break. Respectfully call and have your say. This is a platform for free speech. And what we're talking about today is defending the people's rights.
Yes.
We are going to defend the people's rights. even if it comes down to a civil rights march in Trinidad and Tobago, we will bring 1 million people out in the street.
That's right.
Keith Rowley and your crew, undo, review, think twice. The people of Trinidad and Tobago own this country. You are here but for time.
That's
Ask
right.
Manning, Pandey, Kamla.
That's right.
Ask them. Don't leave the country worse than when you met it. We take a
Thank
break.
you.
It's now 10:45 and time check, courtesy Crime Stoppers. We'll be back.
This is a paid political program on M104.7 FM.
This is a serious problem in Trinidad. What is diabetes?
There are two forms. Diabetes type 1, when your body stops producing insulin. Type 2 diabetes is a result of poor lifestyle. Type 2 diabetes is associated with being overweight, having high blood pressure, at higher risk for heart disease. It is a very serious problem.
Do not wait until it's too late. Let Omega XL be the first step in the right direction.
Get your Omega XL today. Live long, stay strong with Omega XL.
Sangre Grande. Get ready for the most entertaining show in Carnival. Calypso Spectacular through the years. Come and enjoy sweet Kaiser music from then till now. Sangre Grande. Enjoy legends and current superstars like
Nelson, Boza, Ronnie McIntosh, Nadia, Baron, Explainer, Pink Panther, Farmer Nappy, Grunter, Tony Prescott, Super Blue, Trinidad Rio, Johnny King, and Wappy.
the party start. The party shot. Plus much more. Sangre Grande. This one is entertaining from beginning to end. Wednesday 20th, Northeastern College Sangre Grande.
By public demand, 2 persons on 1 ticket remain $50 off until Saturday 16th.
Or until stocks last. Available at all NLCB Lotto outlets. Plus Cinnamon from Sangre Grande.
Sponsors include Ministry of Community Development Culture and the Arts, Swimcall, UTT, TV6, Trinidad Express, and more 104.7 FM, the official radio station of Calypso Spectacular through the years. Sangre Grande.
For more info, call 628-8700.
When we was younger, we used to sweat on the Baba Green. But now you get sweat anytime you step out on the Baba Green. Is a murder scene Baba Green red now. Tainted with the blood of my peers. Tattooed teardrops on some of my peers. Fellas I grew up with no longer my peers. Them men magicians now. Threatening to make me disappear if I only disappear. They say don't be a girl boy, grow up here. But how could I not protect this community as I grow up here? I have to keep my family safe. So for my family's sake, I making that call.
Make the right call. The call that can change it all. Call Crime Stoppers at 800-TIPS. Your call is safe, anonymous, and powerful. Be a Crime Stopper.
It's finally here. The first ever PEP market where you can find great savings, bargains, samples, and giveaways from all over Trinidad and Tobago in one great place. Doors open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday, 23rd February at the Lion Civic Center in Woodbrook, Port of Spain. Come and enjoy our kids zone and bring the entire family for a day of fun and games. Call 347-4737 now if you are interested in selling your products and services. Spaces are going quickly. Don't forget, Saturday, 23rd February from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Lion Civic Center in Woodbrook. See you there.
This is a paid political program on M104.7 FM.
All right, Trinidad and Tobago.
Right, before we get started, I would like to remind the business community about this fabulous opportunity to advertise on this show, as we are growing into the #1 show in Trinidad and Tobago. Call 796-8172 and speak to Satish. That number again, 796-8172. Our rates are competitive. Don't miss out on this great opportunity. And we do look forward to working with you. We are also advising the public that the job seekers, for those who are looking for a job, to come to our head office in Stanmore Avenue or to the South office to register your name into our database. We and that the address for our South office is actually 137 Manohambre Road, St. Madeleine, from 12 noon to 2 p.m. So go and sign up and enter your name into our database.
Janice, as we doing housekeeping and paying bills, I would like to invite members of the business community who would like to take advantage of advertising with us on this, what is, when we open the phone lines, noon pep talks. Mondays and Wednesdays, 9 to noon, Pep Talks is probably the most listened to radio show in Trinidad and Tobago right now. And if you would like to advertise with us, I guess, Janice, they could reach out to you.
Well, I gave them Satish number.
So that is, you already spoke about that?
Yes, I did.
And we announced Pep Market, right? So
yes.
The phone lines bubbling, 628-9595, 628-3131. Feel free to call in. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Miss Janice, Philip, and your other colleague there. Miss Alexander.
Tony.
You see this media in this country, no matter what you see or try to do, they will keep pushing the PNM's propaganda. Understand? They keep pushing the PNM's propaganda. And I didn't even call them media. I didn't even call them media because when I watch international outside, we see what outside, what we see outside is the real media. You on a pulpit saying something, there are people fact checking what he is saying. We don't have that here.
Correct.
We had Mr. Amrao sat down telling the Prime Minister one time, the Prime Minister tell him, no, tear up your paper and show that. Understand? There's a good
and he had to come back and apologize to Robert Amar.
You see that our media has fallen into the political trap.
Caller, the same Prime Minister had to come back and apologize and tell Amar.
Apologize.
Yeah.
Apologize. Philip, Mr. Alexander, one more thing I would like to take a look into. No, I remember recently you did a video with the blocking down in Westmoreland down there, right?
Yes.
But I would like to find out if you could take a look into who authorized for them to put these concrete barriers at the corner, Sunset Boulevard and Western Main Road, because last week Monday, after Wassa did the digging up and Flo came and was trying to repair some fiber optic lines, the traffic was terrible. I went into Shagamas 12 o'clock and I came back out 4 o'clock. So you see the amount of hours I lost. And this is why our country is in so much a kind of, everybody's always antsy and always agitated because you have to be getting up at mornings to come out to do your job. You have to leave home very early because you're trying to beat the traffic. You're still meeting traffic. When you finish work, you're going back home in traffic, and it's frustrating.
That's what I want to
frustrating. So I would like to hear.
No, that is
I would like to say if you could address.
We keep addressing it, and you're right. But the member of parliament for that constituency is a failed member of parliament.
But that man's a pure waste of time.
He's the least productive MP.
That man is a pure waste of time.
He is verbose and ebullient and makes a certain noise, but he accomplishes nothing. And if you look around the constituency, everything that was built in Diego Martin West has been built by other people. Keith Rowley is a joke.
Mr. Alexander, that man legacy going to be he came as a prime minister and all he has done is build Bali's house. That's it. Other than that, he just run the entire country to the ground. And I keep telling you, I like all your ideas. I listen to you every time you have your programming.
Yep.
But one thing I always wanted to remember, apart from all the bad things that the so-called UNC have done, everybody was a part of the PNM. And I tell people straight out, Mr. Alexander, see, People's National Movement has been the worst thing to ever happen to this country. They could say about father to the nation. It's best Mr. Williams had left this country under the stewardship of the Queen of England.
Have a blessed day, my friend. Thanks a lot for all of that. 628-9595, 628-3131. Hello, good morning.
Morning, caller.
Hello. I think we just missed that call, and that last caller was very passionate about, and they really, really, really want to see. They nervous, eh?
Yeah.
Trinidadians know that the national mission right now must be to get rid of this PNM boy. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, good morning.
How you going,
good morning,
Mr. Alexander. I just calling to, trying to encourage people about the party, but it's asking me how I know that Wally wouldn't do the same thing that these two parties doing. And they say it's easy to talk, but to do is the thing everybody promise and they never do.
You want me to answer you on the phone or you're listening off air?
Huh?
You're listening on the phone for the answer, or you're listening off air?
No, I listen on the phone.
You listen on the phone? Okay.
Yeah.
The Janice said we had to wrap you up because there have other calls coming through, but we're going to answer those two questions right now, yeah?
Okay.
You have anything else you'd like to add before we go?
Yeah, the pensioners. Anytime paying means trouble.
We're going to peg the pension to the cost of living. We're going to peg the pension to inflation. Every government should have done
that. I'm a pensioner.
We will do that. We will ensure that pension is pegged to inflation and increases in pension match inflation. So government will have a responsibility to keep inflation in check. Thanks a lot. Have a good day, my friend. 628-9595, 628-3131. Hello.
Hello, morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, first time caller here.
How are you going, sir?
I am fine, thanks. Recently I had a conversation with the energy minister of Aruba. I normally do business in Aruba, and they was asking me, why is it Trinidad is not the main shipping hub of the Caribbean? And I'm asking myself the same question, and refer me back to the point where last week sometime Mr. Alexander mentioned that why it is Trinidad, and they're going to set up this thing. And I'm looking forward to this should you all get in government.
Thank you for that call.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks a lot for that call. I just want to answer the first caller, Janice, who asked these two questions. What would prevent us from being like the PNM and the UNC? I want you to look at the size of the fight that it is taken to fight these two demons, these two hateful, racist, corrupt organizations. I want you to look at how much I have to expose myself and members of this party, how much they have to expose themselves, how much drama, how much they have defamation, scandalization, victimization, threats of violence and murder. That's what we're dealing with. And what will we do to safeguard it? We will put things in place. We have a legislative agenda that disconnects and shuts down these special purpose companies and reestablishes a robust tenders process, and transparent tenders process. All public contracts would be published in the media. And all of these special purpose companies, EFCL, EMBA, Sport, even HDC, that are used as mechanisms for pilfering public funds.
Corruption.
We will shut them down. 628-9595, 628-3131. The closest one to you is lit up, Janice. Hello, good
morning. Morning.
Just a question that I want to answer to on the hang-up after. Do you know about any government in the world? Any government in the world?
Janice, raise his volume.
Satisfied with any government?
Do you know if any government is satisfied? I can run a list for you. Tell me.
Government.
I can run a whole list for you right now. Tell me. You want the list? Caller, are you there?
Yeah.
You hearing me? There are a lot of countries.
You know that the people satisfied.
Yes, there are a lot of countries in the world where the people are in love with their government and stand up for proper governance in their countries. Do you need the list?
Please hang up and try your call again. If you need
paid operatives,
dial your operator.
628-9595, 628-3131. I don't know what Satish and Janice doing in the back there with the calls. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good day. This is Enoch Bowen, and I'm calling from Police Service Commission. And we just calling to update our media listing.
Caller, you know you're live on air, right?
This is the number for 104.7.
Caller, do you know that you are live on air?
Oh, no, I wasn't aware.
Yes,
Can you give me the number for the office?
I don't have that, but this number you dial is but they're hearing you. So would you like to read your number out for them and they'll call you? Hello?
6120062.
6120062?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure somebody from the radio station will contact you. Yeah?
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Okay, bye-bye. 628-9595, 628-3131. Satish, where you do the system? Even switchboard calls coming through. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. How you good?
I am pretty okay. Listen, I've listened to you, Alexander, and on the issue of the situation in Venezuela. You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, on the issue of concern in Venezuela. After the last World War, the United Nations was set up to deal with situations like this, mainly to prevent a singular country from invading another country under the disguise of let me say, taking over the oil fields
or for what other reasons. So to eliminate all of that, if you need an invasion for humanitarian reasons, etc., the United Nations umbrella is to do it. No individual cannot take it upon themselves to take aside, well, I know this government bad and this one good. That it may be clear. And if it's clear and you need an invasion, the umbrella is United Nations. You're setting yourself up down the road for when the shoe is on the other foot and somebody invade and then you cry foul, they shouldn't do it. And so putting all things together, I think you should adjust your foreign policy to reflect a more mature.
Kola, I was the first person that said that Trinidad and Tobago should not be deciding for Venezuela.
That is not what I heard this morning.
Listen, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Don't you hear me? It is our policies that other parties have since copied and followed. That what is correct for the people of Venezuela is what we support. But I want you to understand this. If the government of Venezuela is holding office by force, if the United Nations is failing to act, this is the Americas. Venezuela is the closest country in the world to us. Venezuela is closer to Trinidad. Just now, caller, when you were speaking, I was listening. Venezuela is closer to Trinidad than Trinidad is to Tobago. You aware of that?
Yes, 7 miles. Yes.
We are supposed to be very interested in our neighbors and what happens with that country.
So far, so good, yes.
And the invasion, the economic invasion by China and Russia took that whole conversation that you just tried to broach off the table. And we need to, as a nation, and said there is a crisis in our neighbor and we need help. We didn't.
And that's what was done.
When was that done?
Rowley went to United Nations.
Rowley went to United Nations. Rowley went to Conga line with Maduro. You calling to
No. I want to
ask you a question. The Dragon deal, the Dragon Field gas deal that they tried to do. Do you not see that as trying to profiteer on the misery of the people of Venezuela?
That deal was going on years ahead. It's not today.
I am asking you, regardless of who, if somebody doing wrongdoing and you take over the office,
we will always have to deal with Venezuela, regardless of who government is in power.
Yeah, but that is not correct, because this whole Dragon Field gas deal was done under the cover of night and under the cover of secrecy, and there's a reason for that.
Mr. Singh, I think you're doing yourself a disservice.
We agree to disagree. I think that we owed Venezuela a little more support than that. 628-9595, 628-3131.
Good morning.
That is a lot of things.
Hello, good morning.
Turn down your radio.
Yeah, Mr. Alexander, along my radio.
Good day, sir.
2 questions, calling from Rio. One, when you talk about pension, that you will uplift the pensioners, I wanted to explain to us, where would you get the money? Because when we're already done with Trinidad and Tobago, the people wouldn't even have spit in their mouth.
What's the second question?
The second question is the 52 Venezuelan are there, right? If you check
that caller, much appreciated. To the first question, where will get the money from? And
just
let me answer quick.
Okay, go ahead.
A lot of people believe, and the balanced budget that deals with the issues in defense of the people and provision of the people, the well-being of the citizenry, and the rest of the money will be spent properly. Yeah?
Okay, time check, folks. We've got to go and pay some bills. So we'll be right back.
FM Limited, its owners and associates, accepts no responsibility for statements made by the talk show hosts or their guests. More FM Limited does not endorse any of the information provided during this commercially booked segment as the truth. That you have to judge for yourself. We, however, reserve the right to question statements made. But in this time of misinformation, government-controlled media, and corruption, it is sometimes hard to get the truth. But we must try. It is not our intention to discriminate or annoy anyone. We believe it is our constitutional right to free speech, to voice our opinion, and our duty to the population and country to expose the truth. More FM Limited takes no responsibility for the opinions of others.
This is a paid political program on M104.7 FM.
Make it a locally mega delicious carnival with Royal Castle.
One carnival mega meal, please.
12 delicious pieces of Royal Castle chicken.
Oh, give me a carnival mega meal, please.
With 6 tasty sides.
Give me 2 of the carnival mega meals, please.
Together with a 2-liter Coke.
Hey, a mega meal, please, and a little cup for that tasty pepper sauce.
For lunch, dinner, or a lime, Royal Castle's got your carnival mega meal.
Sangre Grandi. Get ready for the most entertaining show in Carnival. Calypso Spectacular through the gears. Come and enjoy sweet nights of music from then till now. Sangre Grandi. Enjoy legends and current superstars like
Nelson, Boza, Ronnie McIntosh, Nadia, Baron, Explainer, Pink Panther, Farmer Nappy, Grunter, Tony Prescott, Super Blue, Trinidad Rio, Johnny King, and Wappy.
The party start, the party shot, plus much more. Sangre Grandi. This one is entertaining from beginning to end. Wednesday 20th, Northeastern College Sangre Grandi.
By public demand, 2 persons on 1 ticket remain $50 off until Saturday 16th.
Or until stocks last. Available at all NLCB Lotto outlets. Plus Cincinnati Club Sangre Grandi.
Sponsors include Ministry of Community Development Culture and the Arts, Swimco, UTT, TV6, Trinidad Express, and more 104.7 FM, the official radio station of Calypso Spectacular through the years. Sangre Grandi.
For more info, call 628-8700.
Hey friends, it's Raymond Ron the Rhyme from the world's #1 soca chutney band, your Delina Dan, inviting you to experience the Delina Dan magic on Friday, February 15th at the Estate 101 Saddle Road in Maroval. Come witness Raymond and the entire Delina Dan family in full concert alongside our friends Johan Chuckery and Dane Gulston. Come witness Delina Dan like never before. It's Cuchilla at the Estate 101 Saddle Road in Maroval. Raymond, Delina Dan, Mr. Raymond to the world.
It's finally here. The first ever samples and giveaways from all over Trinidad and Tobago in one great place. Doors open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday, 23rd February at the Lion Civic Center in Woodbrook, Port of Spain. Come and enjoy our kids zone and bring the entire family for a day of fun and games. Call 347-4737 now if you are interested in selling your products and services. Spaces are going quickly. Don't forget, Saturday, 23rd of February from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Lion Civic Center in Woodbrook. See you there.
It's Carnival Fever at M1047 FM. We're turning up the temperature and the heat in your body.
Legendary. All man line up, ready to salute like military. We hold the world record, local and abroad, and we bump and deserve an award. All of the girls when I come and walk it up on the road in the flat, I always stand up. I bring the drama like love and get up. For my performance, always action packed. Big competition, ready when I fuck it up. Hold it for a picture like Kodak. And it's still standing up firm, never ever fall. Cause we bump and deserve an award. Me come out this trouble, we run out. Clear the way, make me start bubble. My bump and no doubt this trouble, this a trouble, this a trouble, this a trouble. Wine me a wine and a bubble me a bubble.
There's a fever in the air.
Take a jump, take a jump. Take a jump, take a jump. Take a jump, take a jump. To the right, let's go. We going with the chalk downtown. Let's go. We going with the chalk downtown. Let's go. We going with the chalk downtown. Let's go. We going after 1, 2, 3. All you go, 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 go. I say go, 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 go.
Trinidad and Tobago. M104.7 FM Carnival Fever is taking over TNT.
We jumpin' with love. We jumpin' with love. We jumpin' with celebrate your life because it's love. We jumpin' with love. We jumpin' with love. We jumpin' up. We jumpin' up. We jumpin' up. We jumpin' with love. Loving you. Loving you. Rise up. I let we wave a little love into the sky. Rise up. I let your colors fly high, high, high. Rise up. I let we wave a little love into the sky. Rise up. I let we tell the people.
FM Carnival Fever is blazing hot.
This is a paid political program on M104.7 FM.
We are back inside.
Yep, and we are going to be joined in this final hour by Felicia Holder, chairman of the Progressive Empowerment Party, as she brings information to the public about the soon-to-be had that mic is the mic you're operating from. The soon-to-be had PEP market that is taking place on the 23rd of February. I do not know what Janice is trying to do now.
Pull it out.
She wants everything out. Right. Our technical difficulties
just my one alone.
Went up a little higher now that Satish is here.
I thought Satish was supposed to be man to resolve everything.
He solves the problems, but he's doing it on air. So I have to be like, I'm riding a unicycle across a tightrope, juggling fireballs, and Satish is on the ground throwing live chainsaws at me. And I duck that too. So keep it going and keep sense and not say, what did I just say? Anyway, so Felicia, you are here in your capacity as chairing the PEP market that is coming up on the 23rd of February.
Yes, I am.
What interesting information you have to give besides that sexy ad that Janice did?
Wait, it played? I didn't hear it.
Tony said should have whips and chains. I don't know what he's saying.
Did you get new glasses? Those look like new glasses.
These are my emergency reading glasses for when I forget my other glasses. So
I think these should be a permanent glasses.
Seriously?
Yeah. No, they're not going to be his permanent glasses. I have his permanent glasses.
I know a man who owns Boddington Optical.
Really?
And I go in and check them because I hear they're the best.
No, they are.
But for some reason though, anyway, knowing people and getting your reading glasses and things, yeah? I mean, 1.0, that's my prescription. How hard it is to say, buddy?
Look up here.
I want you to look sexy. I'll get your headphones and you come in the station, the radio. I treat you nice. But don't worry. Time longer than twine, long rope for Maga goat.
I
love Trinidadians.
I try to get a spot of them. It's months now,
Is Boddington going to be represented at the PEP market?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
That's news to me. No, Boddington has not registered. Just saying. I mean, spot size.
I thought I had a little insight.
Spot size.
I'm sorry.
Tables are going fast.
Because you know the organizer media spot later.
All right. We'll do.
Few people get the VIP treatment. You're not one of them.
And with that, I will excuse myself.
Well, let's start the share.
Whatever
Whatever
this became.
I had to look for some green mango and some pepper sauce.
As you're talking green mango and pepper sauce, the food court.
Yes.
Food court.
Yes, this is why I'm here to talk about the PEP market. I feel like I could speak on this like an expert now. I've been repeating the same thing for the past 2 weeks. But basically, this is a market that is open to all business owners, entrepreneurs. And when I say all business owners, we have things ranging from food selling at the PEP markets to people actually doing kitchen, not appliances, what do you call it? Gosh, you know the word when you're building kitchen cabinets and all of those fancy things.
I want to say cabinetry.
That's the name for it? Cabinetry. Anyway, those fancy things come in to give out brochures, etc. So again, this is open to small business owners, entrepreneurs, people who.
So it's not just things that you're selling; you could use it for demonstrating stuff and showing.
Yes, because this booth is actually they don't actually have. Well, yeah, they will have a display.
They could do whatever they want.
But they're actually selling their service, not an actual product. So they'll have brochures. So people who look into the renovations. I know people watch House and Garden all the time looking for ideas. This is a company that's coming to do that as well. So
I'm hoping we will at least have a makeup artist to do the carnival makeup.
Well, I'm hoping to get that because we actually have somebody doing the henna, which is the carnival tattoos, and I am going to get one. Definitely going to get one. I'm trying to bring my girl on board from who we met Saturday. She wants to do spas.
I need to interrupt all of you all. I need to to interrupt all of you all. I need to put out an urgent call for Dr. Fru Emil Krong, who is the dedicated legal representative of the Media Association of Trinidad and Tobago. On social media, Trinidad Express just published Keith Rowley saying, Kamala, what have you done for black people? Now you tell me, Trinidad and Tobago, if these reprehensible dinosaur parties and the disgusting media that represents them are not ruining this country. I am sorry and I apologize. But this is the same jackass that want to talk about dragging people before the Equal Opportunities Commission. Keith Rowley as Prime Minister should be taken there today. Why are you separating the country by race?
Thank you.
Why are they being allowed to do that? Where are people like Emil Krong on these issues?
That is right.
Convenient hypocrites.
Most definitely.
No, Philip, I agree.
Kamala, what have you done for black people? Asks Rowley. The fact that jackass Rowley could ask it and the Express feels safe enough to run it on social media with no regard to what it does to the cohesion of this multi-ethnic society.
That's right.
These people don't care.
That's right.
But I'm sorry to go back here, but I have to go back here because this has been plaguing me for the past 2.5 weeks. When I sat inches away from Hima Ramkissoon and she told me Indians are predominantly, UNC is predominantly for Indians, PNM is predominantly for black people, and she said it so casually,
so confidently,
and I saw that
she put that in the public space.
Why was I the only Trinbagonian who was outraged at the fact that this woman was basically telling us if I black, I have to vote PNM, or I belong in the PNM, or if I Indian, I belong in the UNC, and nobody felt any kind of way about that. You're not voting on policies, you're not voting on who present the best candidates, you're not voting on performance.
Where is this supposed to go? Where is it supposed to go? When Keith Rowley as Prime Minister could ask Kamala Persad-Bissess as opposition leader, what have you done for black people? Isn't that trying to incite violence in society?
Yes. Yes.
How is Kamala supposed to respond? Rowley, what you do for Indian?
Yeah.
So now the battle lines drawn in Trinidad and Tobago. Indian want to fight African because PNM and UNC say we at war. And Emil Krong, that clown,
defending that. This is not a fetting here, this is madness.
And that is why that song, as much as I know it's going to win Road March and as much as the song catchy, is honestly upset me because I can't believe that we's only one family for 2 days. Of the year. 2 days of the year. Anybody, Indian, black, whining on everybody. After that.
Draw the lines again.
Draw the lines after that is election time.
Draw the lines again.
It's not
how we party. That's right.
And that sad indictment against the people of this country, it is a shame and it is reprehensible. It is unacceptable. I call on the Equal Opportunities Commission to involve itself now before this deteriorates.
I agree.
I call on the Parliamentary Privileges Committee because he is a parliamentarian.
That's right.
You do not separate the man from the member of parliament.
That's right.
And your job in society, in this society, is to knit it closer together, not to tear it apart. Kamala, what have you done for black people? The Trinidad Express needs to be sanctioned and fined. Where is the Media Association of Trinidad and Tobago? Where are all of these mocking pretenders and convenient hypocrites? Where are they now? We are sinking into a cesspool of filth because these two failed political ideologies have been exposed by the Progressive Empowerment Party as devoid of any functional integrity, intellectually bankrupt, vacuous, and inane. They bring nothing to the conversation. So now they're going to reduce it to Indian and African fighting. That is an insanity that we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, have to wake up this morning and find that that is our new normal. this man talking about fake news. Emil Krong talking about fake news and the importance of the media. How does Emil Krong see the role of the Trinidad Express this morning to put into the national conversation? Rowley asking Kamala, what have you done for black people? They are all so irresponsible. And they should, none of them should have public office. None of them should have any ability to influence public behavior in this country. None of them. I reject them both. I think Kamala and Keith Rowley are the last symptoms of the cancer that was the PNM and the UNC and everything that is that racism that has plagued and destroyed this country.
Here. Well said.
Let's agree. Philip, are we writing to the AOC? Because I think this is something that we have to raise.
You should. You should.
We should write. I will be writing a letter to the AOC.
He also accused Prasad Bisessa. This is the Trinidad freaking Express. He also accused Prasad Bisessa of trying to prevent black families from voting at all in the next general election, saying this is the work she was doing in areas like La Hoqueta. Now, she have to respond to this.
Of course.
And Janice.
Of course.
Janice.
That's defamation.
But Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith, wake up, brother. These elephants, these political elephants, are going to tear the country apart. Tell your people, be ready. Tell your law enforcement officers, when the racist war start, because that's what Keith Rowley just Keith Rowley just pelt the first stone. He just pelt the first stone. That is a nasty, reprehensible act.
That's right.
And I think that we, people of Trinidad and Tobago, right now have to pay serious attention and make a decision. Can we put up with this? Any more of this?
No.
As leadership, as management of this country?
No. We should not, as a population, as a citizenry of Trinidad and Tobago, be putting up with this. Because again, you're talking about two leaders. These supposed to be two leaders setting an example for our young people, for our citizens. And here you are in a public space drawing a line where...
I can't believe after that whole article we read for 2 hours.
Tell me now.
After everything that we went to discuss it. I mean, the fact that this would come into the public space right now, Janice. I mean, it's like who God wanted to destroy, they first make bad. They show you their behavior. When people show you who they are, you must believe them. The PNM and the UNC, neither of them is for one people under one flag. Neither of them.
That is what we're saying.
And the Progressive Empowerment Party is the only bridge to a functional, proper country where the well-being of every citizen is the purpose of government.
Correct.
That was the first thing I thought when they read that statement, though. Keith Rowley asking Kamala, what you do for black people. Keith Rowley, what you do for black people?
That's the question.
Shots fired. How does get on? How does get on? Boom. That's how. That's how this goes. Booyaka. Shots fired.
Win, Miss Holder, you win. I take my hat off, I take my jacket off, I take my shoes off.
All right, no, Rowley point. Rowley opening. No, Mova. What? Robert, come in. You see the madness, Keith Rowley. No. If Keith Rowley could ask Kamala, what have you done for black people? Then you have to ask, what has the PNM done for Mova?
Tell me.
What has it done for Beatam?
Tell me.
Lavante, Zealot, Port of Spain South, Port of Spain East. What have you done for Bagatelle, Patna, River Estate, Covey, Mason, Factory Road, Sanganga, La Puerta, Abbey Pujat, Big Yard, Scorpion, Hardin Place, Waterhole, Cocorite, Enterprise, La Hoqueta, Talparo, and Bacade in San Fernando. What have they done for any people in this country?
Correct.
Trinidad and Tobago, we are joined by Robert Amar, who is going to say his little hello.
Hi, sir.
He just passed through. He hear Bacchanal in the studio. Come to see what is going on. Shots fired.
Come.
You sit down. I only here for a minute. Well, good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to the PEP crew.
Morning, sir.
You guys have been on fire. I mean, I think the only thing you missed this morning was to indicate to the population how does the MSG get all the time it gets.
Hey.
Yes.
But you see, by asking that question, we're giving them more relevance that I don't even know how they get.
No, it's not about relevance. It's about showing the population the biasness.
Correct.
I mean, you can't be operating in a country where you're saying every creed and race finds an equal place. But then when you're talking about the distribution of information, you're being select.
Correct.
I see the man get a half an hour, and I mean, I don't want to get into his business, but that man has contributed nothing.
Gosh, boy.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you had to get a vial with a foul smell in it, he can't get it.
Listen,
this radio show on fire.
I should have been here from 9.
One fire service. Tell them what the water.
You know, I had cause to write the Prime Minister recently.
Again?
Yeah.
You know, he
got next apology?
No, but this morning I listened to Stuart Young this morning, and he said they're moving their business into full action. They're moving the business into full action because the murder toll has gone up significantly. But the reality is, nobody in the media, and I have asked both the Prime Minister and the former Ministers of National Security, do we have a ballistics registry department or information center?
You've been
We have found one gun that has killed 2 people. You tell me that all of the political aspirants have been thinking about really solving the crime.
Yes.
But they will, as Philip has said, they distract. Commissioner went to talk to Berkey.
Yeah, name of the game is distraction. Name of the game.
Who the hell cares?
Yeah.
Berkey do anything? Berkey went, Crime Watchman interview him.
Yeah.
He pull up his shirt and he says, see, no bullet holes, nothing. I say, good. So we have a serious problem in Trinidad and Tobago. Philip, I think you have to keep fighting the fight, boy, because at the end of it all, the reality is that there must be a fairness. And for the man, I've had a run-in with him already. I mean, I think he was trying to embarrass me today in front by the Prime Minister when he said, I just want to let Mr. Amor know that Tongue Country Plan approval was given. The Prime Minister didn't even know that at the time when I asked him the question. And Wilson had to come to his kind of defense.
Which Wilson? Anthony Wilson?
That's him, Wilson. The one who tell you about when they become a political party.
He'll cover you then.
You understand?
He'll cover you then.
Yeah, he cover you then. But all the newspapers, I get so vexed.
That is a club.
I think we should take all the newspaper and have a bonfire.
That's what we're do.
I love it.
Yeah, I did what you
call the fire services.
When we having the burn the red and the burn the yellow card and jersey and thing, burn all them newspapers too.
No, seriously, because at the end of the day, if you can't bring real news,
correct,
fair news, balanced news,
what's the point of view?
That's right.
Then you're picking a side.
Yeah, you're defeating the whole purpose.
And I mean, this is not America.
But Robert, how could the Express justify publishing that filth? Keith Rowley asking Kamala, what have you done for black people?
Well, again, at the end of it all,
how do they justify that?
You see, I must give Kamala Prasad Bisesa a little forward today because I saw her at the last meeting that they had in La Hoquita, and she opened the discussion frontal, talking about the race situation in the country. And I had to call the writer and say, listen, and I think I mentioned this to Philip already, we got to change the conversation. It's not race, it's ethnic differences. This whole race, don't come in one breath and say there's only one race, the human race, but then you want to talk about the African race and the Indian race and the Chinese race and the Syrian race. Race, I mean, anthropologists have said that there's only one race.
Yeah.
It's not me. It's going back long before me. Biblically, have all kind of things they're talking about it. But we got to get serious in this country to understand that it's ethnicity that divides us.
Agreed.
Not raciality. We don't have no racialism in this country.
Yeah.
And then, like the Minister of Education talking, he packed a gobar the other day about don't publish this and don't publish that. But hear what? Tell us what you're doing to make sure you put the
Absolutely.
systems in place to stop these children
There we go.
from getting on the way they
More
get.
shots fired. More shots fired. More shots fired. More shots fired. And I want to say thank you to Robert Amar for passing through.
yeah.
And any other critical thinkers who would like to drop in on the studio, just give us a call. Tony, give them your number.
688-40-12. Wait, what number you want?
We need no your number. 688 too sexy. Tony. 688 too sexy. When you're late, the woman just message me. Where's Tony the fool?
Oh gosh. Come down, man. Are you yourself this already morning, huh?
Felicia Holder has asked a question that I think I want us to dedicate the entire show, Monday coming, to asking.
Yeah.
Keith Rowley, ask the question. Ask your question.
Ask it.
What have you done for black people?
Thank you very much. Monday, people. Monday, Trinidad and Tobago.
We will come back at that.
That is 2 hours. I need an hour for Pep Market.
No, you can have your pep market now. You can do that right through. But Monday we come in at that.
Yeah, we come in at
We're
that
sticking our
Monday.
pin in it now.
Yeah.
And we're going back to pep market.
Mm-hmm.
But we had to expose this nasty, reprehensible statement. Trinidad and Tobago, reject it. Reject them. My father told me when I was small that racism is the last gasp of a dying animal. If you have nothing else to say, you resort to personal issues. We're going to stick a pen. We'll come at that well researched on Monday. We're going to raise issues. Monday's first hour is going to be sponsored by Boddington Optical, who will be providing me with my brand new reading glasses.
That's right.
Boddington that will be at the Pep Market. So let's segue back to Felicia's chairman.
So don't forget to register.
Well, actually,
for Pep Market,
and as you talk about Boddington Optical, we would be offering a free eye screening on site, as well as we would have some product on display as well. So come on down for
You'll be doing eye testing on site. Nice,
yes.
man.
Yes. So
Pep Market on the 23rd of February.
On the 23rd of February.
You doing any
Correct.
testing yourself? You could do that.
Listen, yes.
I just asked.
So come down Trinidad and Tobago.
You're a man of many talents.
Come down to the yes, I can cook too. Let me know I can cook.
Corn beef and macaroni. Only just invite women over and tell them we have an Italian and making corn beef and macaroni.
Just like the Prime Minister question, can you cook?
I have evidence. I have people who will come here and tell you that man will cook so good. When I was eating by him, I bite my finger by accident.
Well, I could bring a few people with some teeth marks on the finger.
Well, go back to the Pep Market, please.
But anyway, yes, Trinidad.
How do they register, Janice? How do they register vendors who want to come? And to the public, is it free?
No, it's not.
No, to the public who's attending
Oh,
the
the
event.
public attending, it's free, yes.
From 10
Definite.
to 6.
Correct.
And to
Correct.
the people who want to get to book a booth or a table or whatever it is, how do
Call the PEP phone 347 for PEP, which is 347-4737. Don't call right now because I'm on air. But anytime after 12 p.m., I can take your call. You just let me know your line of business, how many tables you want. It's $200 for PEP members and $300 for non-PEP members. At the moment, PEP membership is free until March 31st. So if you wanted to sign up for the Progressive Empowerment Party, now is your time to do it, because you can qualify for free membership as well as $100 discount signing up for Pep Market. So anybody wanting to be a part.
So will they be able to join the party, sign up for membership at the event?
Yeah, so of course we are going to have our own Pep booths because this is our market. So we're going to have a Pep booth doing membership, a Pep booth doing merchandise, which is all the t-shirts. Everybody, you wants to get them. Actually, I'm considering doing a little discount on that day for t-shirts for people who are interested. You always wanted your t-shirt.
Well, maybe members could get a discount.
Yes, members will get a discount on your t-shirt, a little $10-20 off. On the day as well, we also have a kind of garage sale. And when I say garage sale, when you go to those little things that people set up and you find those home items that you always wanted, and for a real nice price. We're gonna have some of that at the
second-hand section.
Yes, a second-hand section. I like to say gently used section.
Oh, gently used.
Was it you on this? Oh, today.
I just find it so cute.
So cute.
No, I'm telling you. I mean, because
you know, spitting fire now we.
That's it. We're capable of dancing to any tune, so bring it and we dancing with you. But the PEP market is a way for the Progressive Empowerment Party to raise funds more than anything else. We use it as an opportunity to help PEP members who, for any reason in this failing economy, look at this.
What is this? What is this?
Did we just get roses?
Did I
What
get a
you
rose?
saying, boy?
Did I get a rose?
Did I get a rose?
Should I have to make a
What?
I went to get a rose too. I got a rose too.
Love is in the air.
Who is in love with us?
Oh, this is from
At the same
104.7. I just got a rose. I feel
know.
so loved.
I have to take a picture. But back to PEP Market, we will also have, as we are on flowers, we will have people there selling plants and threums and all those beautiful things that you want to get. Somebody's actually doing.
It's something exciting. And I was trying to get people to understand who was listening in that that the purpose of the PEP market is to give members of the Progressive Empowerment Party and members of the public who are suffering under this failing government and this crazy fake recession, that if you want to come,
keyword here, fake.
if you want to come and do some business, do some sales, you know, you could be a doctor and you also make a very good banana bread.
Yeah. No, but you laugh at that. I know someone who is in the medical field and they love baking.
Very good.
When I was in St. Mary's College, there was a competition called Mr. St. Mary's. Yeah, Mr. St. Mary's. and it was like a pageant. It was like a beauty pageant.
Well, it would have been trouble if it was Miss St. Mary's.
Shut up. But it was like a beauty pageant, right? So it was like a pageant. And they ask you, so they have the interview question. Time. So they asked me, I said, what would you like to be when you finish school? And I said, I'd like to be a gynecologist. When all of us young boys, I was informed 2 at the time. When you found out what a gynecologist did, you thought, well, hey, any profession that allows me access to that much nudity.
What the?
No, I'm just saying. No. And so I'm just asking you.
Yeah, you know, as
I'm asking you.
When you're putting about
not me, bro. Trinidadians know we real. Right? The truth of the matter is, we are here on 104.7 today. Those of you who are listening in and phoning in, 9 to noon, Mondays and Wednesdays, we are here with you on the radio. Felicia Holder, chairman of the PEP, she's not a regular member of the. Well, I know other people stole the name Mixed Nuts, but I think we would have taken that name if they didn't. Because this crew could be very functional. We give a lot of information, but we have a lot of fun too.
Yeah. Didn't we come up with a name for ourselves, the kindergarten bunch or something?
Some craziness, but don't get them that because they go, say, look at them, it's preschoolers. Go vote for them.
Oh gosh. But it real Trinidad and Tobago is about what we are able to do within our own capacity and us actually making it work and doing it. Right? We ain't talking the talk, we walk in the walk. Or you come to your South Harbour office in Manahambri, 137 Manahambri Road, South Side. Go Saturdays, 12 noon. They're open, they have meetings. You can meet your constituency representatives, as well as caretakers and shadow MPs. We also have our meeting at noon as well at the head office, which is 19 Stanmore Avenue.
But we close for Carnival.
We are closed for
Carnival. Our meetings, our public meetings are closed until after Carnival. We're coming back out on the 23rd of March at the launch of the North Hub. But all of the members who are still involved in all of the other things that's happening, we have the Family Day coming on the weekend before that North Hub opening, and all of the communications team, the membership team, the mobilization teams, they all meeting, they all planning. We have the walkabouts last week Saturday. While we had meetings in Port of Spain in the headquarters at 19 Stanmore, we had a meeting going on at 137 Manahambri Road in St. Madeleine. We also had walkabouts in North, Central and
And
south.
south, yeah.
And when, I didn't even know. I thought it was just north and central. And when I found out that they also did a walkabout in south, and as I realized, the Progressive Empowerment Party has grown beyond my ability to know what the party is doing. Right through.
Yeah.
And that is an amazing thing. And the fact that we are not given the media time that we are entitled
to, yes,
is really disgusting. Because if the public had the opportunity, because every time we do a little interview, we must do what, 4 or 5 interviews since they allow us, since the party. And that video about what happened in South, brother,
the waves,
membership team say, well, already kill we with that. And when Trinidad see what we have coming for the opening of the North Hub, you know, and it's things like that I have hope for the country because of the PEP. I mentioned this guy. I mean, all day, every day, my phone, my WhatsApp, my messages of constant support and encouragement. But it's when people go out of their way for this year, like this guy who I mean, I literally just stealing some time to go and shut down the files in your mind, just watch a mindless movie. I watch this crazy show called Hot Pursuit or Cold Pursuit. It's a new show with Liam Neeson, right? Hot Pursuit. And that whole show is killing. It's like they say, you know, Taken. This is Taken. Strip off the plot. Forget about that. Killing start to finish. It's like a Chinese kick-up. From start to finish, people getting killed. But this guy and he wasn't the one who was attending to me. He was on the other side of him. And he left and he came around to shake my hand. He reminded me of the guy from the burger joint place on Arapita Avenue, who he cashed for me, and I went and sat down outside, and he finished his line of cashing and came outside to find me to tell me, and it is them. I tell you, you know, I mean, we talk all the time. This is tiring. Sometimes it's frustrating what we go through. I mean, when Janice sent me that disgusting article that the Newsday published by Emil Crown, and I read it, it's make you want to say, fire truck this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I really, we've put up with a lot.
Yeah.
We've taken a lot of body blows.
Correct.
And then you meet somebody like that guy and you realize this stopped being about us a long time ago.
Correct.
This is about them.
Yeah.
The PEP market.
It is.
The PEP market is like any PEP event where people just, they show up expecting family, even if it's their first time. Felicia?
Yep, and on that day you can come and bring the kids and they can be entertained. We have a bouncy castle for those who want to shop in peace, but you have your kids with you. It's also, you can also come and get your, like I said, your carnival tattoos done. I'm going to get mine.
Carnival tattoos?
Yeah,
what
you know the henna. How do you pronounce it? Henna.
Henna.
She's actually coming on Monday to promote the product on air.
You think I can get a 6-pack tattoo? I see a picture where somebody pressed themselves against a BRC and they come back up with that thing. I say, well, right. Save me time in the gym.
So back to the secure parking that we're gonna have at PEP Market. We have parking for many customers. Lion Civic Center is a big compound, so we have secured parking with security. If we spill over, I'm actually going to speak to Red Cross to find out if we can spill over, because I anticipate we will. I know people, they look out for a bargain, and on that day you can get many bargains, not just bargains but samples as well. Most of the food people who are coming, they're offering samples of their products, so you know what you're getting before you buy it. We're going to have soaps, people who doing specialty soaps. I actually bought one and makes my skin feel really nice, so yeah, that's my so again, you want to be a part of PEP Market as a vendor, you can register for as low as $200. You want to come and be a participant in terms of shopping, again, it's free, open to the public from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on February 23rd, which is a Saturday, next week Saturday.
A couple of people who do cereal vending in all the different, there are multiples of these kind of markets.
Correct.
And they asked me if they could establish a relationship with the party. Is it something that is going to be happening regularly? Are we going to be doing PEP market again and again?
Yes, my idea is to do at least one a month and then pick up the pace to have multiple happening at different locations across the country. The idea is to take this across Trinidad and Tobago because we have entrepreneurs who are based in Moruga. You're selling cocoa products, you're selling chocolate. It's a little inconvenient to come all the way to Port of Spain, and I understand. Those who can't make the trek, of course, we welcome you. It's a very low registration fee, so most of the profit goes back to you and your business, and we specifically made that fee very low, and because we understand that these times are tough, people are looking for opportunities to advertise and sell their business. But again, in the event that you cannot make it the following Saturday, the 23rd of February, we will be having follow-up markets across the country, giving vendors the opportunity to sell their product within the constituency.
So it could become like a family. They will move with us throughout the country.
Definitely, and it's also
so they get a chance
network.
to access
Cool. A growing network to sell. And
Janice is giving us the signal. Tony, what does that signal mean? Whipping time?
You know when the chief whip raise his hand.
Oh yes.
All your bracing.
Involved in
Time check, everybody. It's 11:46, and we're going to pay some bills. We'll be back.
A paid political program on M104.7 FM.
The first time I catch my brother, I see how I call Crime Stoppers. But he cussed me out and called me an informer. But once a week turned to twice a day, and 5 years later, because he decided to use, he left school without the paper, and now he out here using paper. Things just getting deeper and deeper. I just trying to be my brother's keeper, but he taking lives. I have to protect everybody else. It burn in my heart. But I gonna call Crime Stoppers myself.
Make the right call. The call that can change it all. Call Crime Stoppers at 800-TIPS. Your call is safe, anonymous, and powerful. Be a Crime Stopper.
Sangre Grandi. Get ready for the most entertaining show in Carnival. Calypso Spectacular through the Kid. Come and enjoy sweet guys of music from then till now. Sangre Grandi. Enjoy legends and current superstars like
Nelson, Boza, Ronnie Prescott, Super Blue, Trinidad Rio, Johnny King, and Wappy. The party start. The party shot.
Plus much more. Sangre Grandi. This one is entertaining from beginning to end. Wednesday 20th, Northeastern College Sangre Grandi.
By public demand, 2 persons on 1 ticket remain $50 off until Saturday 16th.
Or until starts.
Let me down.
Let me get it. No. Do it better than that. Do it better than that. Let me get next one. It was a snip. It was flower snip.
What's that? Each one? For your 10,000?
Yeah, for my 10,000.
Revel in 4 new transition style colors and enjoy up to
So he went and got that headphones for you?
spectacles.
Not for you, because I said your phone, your headphones is not working.
Full color. It's your vision. Transitions and digital access. Original gray and pop colors. See pricing and store
One,
your eyes.
Market where you can find great savings.
Yeah. She went with this one.
One great place. Doors open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Anton Henry say we hear in background talk. Yeah, that we live. We can't turn this off.
Come and enjoy our kids' zone and bring the entire family for a day of fun and games. Call 347-4737 now if you are interested in selling your products and services.
Are we holding our flowers?
Why would it just take a flower
Today, 23rd February, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Lion Civic Center in Woodford. See you there.
A lady wants to have 2 tables.
Disclaimer.
I mean,
More FM Limited, its owners and associates.
The second, sorry, darling. The second one is every other one has trailer.
Their guests.
The first one is
Limited does not endorse any of the information provided during this commercially booked segment as the truth. That you have to judge for yourself. We, however, reserve the right to question statements made. And in this time of misinformation, government-controlled media, and
I think you all need to teach me how to use Instagram.
Hard to get
I will teach you.
but we must try. It is not our intention to discriminate or annoy
Yeah, you want to reach
anyone.
young
We
people,
believe
Instagram
it
is
is
where you
our
need to be.
constitutional right
So where's you?
to
What can you tell me
voice
you all
our
people?
opinion and our duty to the population and country to expose the truth.
You see, if ever you see me walking around my reading glasses here, just shoot me. There are people who do that.
Of
No, don't do that.
No, just tell it. And we are back inside the crew that they say is too sexy for TV, so they put us on radio.
Actually, just posted that on Instagram.
Janice Lemon, Creaky PRO, Anthony Defoe, Deputy Political Leader, Felicia Holder, Chairman of the Progressive Empowerment Party, and me, Philip Edward Alexander. We're here, we're discussing the important issues of the day, including the breaking news that our Prime Minister is a racist. Trinidad and Tobago, we have to start taking our country seriously. We can't take it for granted that these people, ourselves, Robert Amar, and the other civic-minded patriots who stand up for Trinidad and Tobago, that it will always be here, because it won't. These governments, these people have been working to silence us and to silence you, and to seek hegemony, complete power. We need to stand against that, and we need to put things in place that prevents that, and we need to be activist citizens. We need 1.4 million of us as activist citizens that tells any public office holder, you work for me, you work for us. Your job is to serve us. It's public servant. We're the public, you're the servant. And if you can't do the job, if you have a problem with serving people, don't do the job. Don't go and find another job. Go and dig graves in the cemetery. And I'm very serious. We need to get together more effortlessly. We need to walk, march, protest until we have a country where our civil liberties and human rights are so enshrined that they could never be taken away. Government must write no law. Under the guise of protecting the anti-gang bill was supposed to end the gang violence, and it didn't. We mustn't be distracted and fooled. I propose that the government must come to the public consultation on every law. And if you write that law and it attempts to do something different than you said to the public when you were in consultation, the law should be struck off the books. Because we have too many cases where the government uses a bait and switch almost. And I want to use Section 34. Section 34 was sold to the public as a means by which all these little black boys that in jail, can't afford a lawyer, can't afford bail, that they there more than 10 years, and you should let them go, because they serve more time. They there for jump wall and thief shoe and that kind of thing. They're there longer than they could have been if they had pled guilty and were convicted. They serve more time. You should let them go on it. That sounded so sensible, and then you realize it was the free financiers of the UNC wanted for corruption. I mean, bait and switch happens all the time. The draconian policies in that cybercrime bill is so mad that if we allow them that, you would have literally turned off your ability to stand up in defense of your country against its government. And that is what a democracy is. A democracy is a country where the people are the government and some are elected to office to represent the rest. That's why our parliament is called the House of Representatives. And we have to understand that in the core of our being, we mustn't defend wrongdoing, we mustn't tolerate mediocrity. We must say to each other and to the world, Trinidad and Tobago is a country where every creed and race finds an equal place. And this Prime Minister who made that reprehensible statement today, we need to take him to task. We need Felicia Holder's chairman. She said she is going to write the Equal Opportunities Commission, but it mustn't stop there. We must reject this racism that the PNM and the UNC is using as their reason for existence. If you are voting for a party because they black and you black, that serves you nothing. True. After the election, They still black, you still black, but you don't benefit from all that blackness. And you need to think about that. The people of Caranage took 32 years to get a fish market that could have built in 9 months.
Yeah. Imagine that.
The people of Caranage. Caranage is a fishing village.
Yeah.
That's what Caranage is. Those people put Rowley Charon through school. Anyway, as we bring it to a wrap and a close, we will run through Felicia Holder. Closing comments.
Well, I mean, I was here today to promote the PEP market, but we did touch on some very serious issues today that I want to close with before I touch on PEP market, which is just that a government is not supposed to seek your well-being based on your race, and it's about time that we recognize that a government is supposed to represent all of us, no matter how we look, skin, creed, color. They're supposed to represent all of us. Anyway, back on PEP market again. If you want to register, you can call me off air in about 5 minutes, 347-4737. I'll be happy to take your request, and that's it for me. Take care until next time. Monday, I'll be here Monday.
Anthony Defoe, Deputy Political Leader, the Progressive Empowerment Party. Closing comments.
Well, Trinidad and Tobago, once again, thank you for having us here on this great Wednesday morning. And I hope that you were able to understand what was being said to you today. Look out for us on Monday. We have a whole lot more coming at you on Monday. So, Trinidad and Tobago, be safe. We love you. Vote PEP.
Janice Lemon, she's the Janice Lemon Cricky. She's the PRO of the party, and she handles our communications. Janice, closing comments.
Trinidad and Tobago, I hope that you have listened to what we have had to say. We look forward to your support. We just want you to wake up, to smell the coffee, to pick sense out of nonsense. For those of you who are going to be out there partying, please, 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 especially the women, be safe. Pay attention to your surroundings. And we hope we will see you, or we will be on board again from next week Monday. Look forward to being with you from 9 o'clock.
The well-being of the people, the well-being of the citizens is the function, the purpose, and the reason of government. We must become citizen activists. We must raise our voices and stand up and ensure that they understand that. And those who do not want to respect and serve the people, we must fire them with vigor. We must rigorously defend our democracy. We must let all of these mocking pretenders know that we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, are not divided by race. We are not divided by religion. We are one people under one flag, and we will stand in defense of our democracy. Until Monday, stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.